Arl.
Denerim is the heart and soul of Ferelden. It was the city of King Calenhad, the birthplace of Andraste. As stubborn as a Mabari, and as good to have on your side. If we defeat Loghain here, the rest of the nation will follow us. By calling the Landsmeet, I've struck the first blow. The advantage, for the moment, is ours. He will have little choice but to show himself, to oppose us directly. He will strike back at us. The only question that remains is how soon. Loghain, this is an honor that the Regent would find time to greet me personally.
How could I not welcome a man so important as to call every lord in Ferelden away from his estates, while a blight claws at our land?
The blight is why I'm here. With Cailan dead, Ferelden must have a king to lead it against the Darkspawn.
Ferelden has a strong leader. Its queen. And I lead her armies.
Considering Oscar, perhaps we need a better general.
And who is this, Eamon? Some new stray you picked up on the road? And here I thought it was only royal bastards you play the nursemaid to, not Orzamar's rejects.
Well, you're admitting the royal part. That's a start.
Orzamar's rejects? That hurt. And witness your crimes at Ostagar. I am Cthulhu of the Gray Warden.
You have my sympathies on what happened to your order. It is unfortunate that they chose to turn against Ferelden.
Enough of this. When does this Landsmeet begin? I don't accept sympathies of dissenters and regicides.
You should curb your tongue. This is my city, and no safe place to speak treason. For anyone. There is talk that your illness left you feeble, Eamon. Some worry that you may no longer be fit to advise Ferelden.
Illness? Why not call your poison by its true name? Not everyone at the Landsmeet will cast aside their loyalties as easily as you and these sycophants.
How long you've been gone from court, Eamon? Don't you recognize Rendon Howe, Arl of Amaranthine, and Terran of Highever?
And current Arl of Denerim, since Urien's unfortunate fate at Ostagar. The Regent has been generous to those who prove loyal.
That's a lot of titles for one man to have. Bootlicking appears to be profitable these days.
Don't interrupt, Churl. Your betters are talking.
Enough, Calthrian. This is not the time or place. I had hoped to talk you down from this rash course, Eamon. Our people are frightened. Our king is dead. Our land is under siege. We must, if we are to endure this crisis. Your own sister, Queen Rowan, fought tirelessly to see Ferelden restored. Would you see her work destroyed? You divide our nation and weaken our efforts against the Blight, with your selfish ambitions to the throne.
You're the one who divided Ferelden. What else can be there? What else can there be when you outlawed the Grey Wardens?
Cailan depended on the Grey Warden's prowess against the Darkspawn, and look how well that ended. Let us speak of reality rather than tall tales. Stories will not save us.
I cannot forgive what you've done, Loghain. Perhaps the Maker can, but not I. Our people deserve a king of the Therin bloodline. Alistair will be the one to lead us to victory in this blight.
Oh, is that all I have to do? No pressure.
The Emperor of Orlais also thought I could not bring him down. Expect no more mercy than I showed him. There is nothing I would not do for my homeland.
Well, that was bracing. I didn't expect Loghain to show himself quite so soon.
Why is he doing this? Have you known Loghain
My sister married King Merrick while he was still in exile. At that time, he and Loghain were inseparable. The wild prince who'd never seen the inside of a castle and the farmer's son. When Loghain joined Merrick's rebels, he was just a raw-boned boy, but he got on one knee to swear that he would see Ferelden free or die trying.
You sound like you adore him. And now he kills Merrick's son and steals his throne.
And conspires with a blood mage to poison me. It is a bitter dose to taste. The Chantry speaks truly about the corruption of power. If a man like Loghain could go and do this, I would never have believed he would do anything but what was best for Ferelden. We need eyes and ears in the city. Loghain has been here for months. The roots of all his schemes must begin here. The sooner we find them, the better we can turn them to our advantage. Go have a look around and see what you can turn up. Better yet, find the nobles who have arrived for the Landsmeet. Test the waters. See how many will support us. When you're ready to talk strategy, come upstairs to my sitting room. We can lay out our plans for the Landsmeet then.
What do you want to talk about?
This is a nice estate, isn't it? What's on your mind?
It's a very nice estate. As a Gray Warden, I'll never have a normal life. Why?
No, you won't.
And while you're blunt, I could try, but it wouldn't work. But there you go. So, I could try, but it wouldn't work. I already knew the answer. I don't know why I asked.
Because you were not looking for the answer, but for someone to tell you that in spite of it, you'll be all right. You wonder sometimes, don't you? If your life would be better if you weren't who you are.
A little.
When I was a young woman in the tower, I came to the realization that the circle would be my life, and I would know no other. Family, love, a simple life. These were things that others took for granted, that I would never have.
The grass is always greener on the other side. And this upset you?
It made me very moody. All I could think of was being trapped in that tower with no way out and no end in sight. I started hating my life and myself, and one night I found myself in the tower's chapel. I was seeking refuge, maybe answers.
The Chantry doesn't offer much of either. Did you find anything?
I must have looked tearful or made some noise, because the revered mother came out and decided to speak to me. And because I had no one else to talk to, I talked to her. I must have said many silly things, but she told me that the Maker puts us all on our paths for a reason, and fighting our intended course is what causes so much anguish.
And that made you feel better? I think she's right. And that made you feel better?
I thought the old biddy was full of rubbish. I was 15, maybe 16, and I knew everything. So I left, but I always found my way back to that chapel. And as the years passed, I began to see the truth of her words. We were supposed to be polar opposites, mage and priest. But we weren't. There was much about us that was the same.
I suppose priests have to give up a lot too.
The revered mother had lived in the Chantry all her life, as I had been in the tower for all of mine. She taught me that you can find your family in the people around you. that you can love your work and find fulfillment in duty. And there is joy even in self-sacrifice. If you put others before yourself, then their well-being is yours, and their happiness is your happiness.
That doesn't sound healthy. It won't be easy to live that way.
You can scream and cry and be angry about life as a Grey Warden, or you can accept it and allow yourself to see the good in it. This is your choice.
Some words to think about. At least I'm not a servant. Well, I was. At least I'm not anymore.
Excuse me, I have to dust the Earl's sitting room.
Are you from Denerim? I haven't seen many elves around
The
here.
Chamberlain disapproves of us. If Lady Isolde hadn't brought me into this household from Redcliffe last year, I'd never have been given a place. I beg your pardon, sir, but I really can't be seen standing about. The housekeeper will have my head. Good day.
Good day.
His lordship sends no notice he's coming, and now the house is full of guests. Andraste preserve us, this will be the death of me.
He doesn't sound happy.
Ah, Warden. I trust you've made yourself comfortable.
Yes, very nice.
Good, because it's likely to be your last rest for a while. This is Elena. She's...
I am Queen Enora's handmaiden. She sent me here to ask for your help.
Or perhaps the young lady prefers to speak for herself.
Why would Enora ask for us help? Why would Enora ask us for help?
The Queen, she is in a difficult position. She loved her husband, no? And trusted her father to protect him. When he returns with no king and only dark rumors, what is she to think? She worries, no? But when she tries to speak with him, he does not answer. He tells her not to trouble herself.
I'm still not seeing where our help comes in. Are you saying the Queen believes Loghain killed Kaelin?
My queen suspects she cannot trust her father. And Loghain, he is very subtle, no? But when and how, he is privy to all the secrets and not so subtle. So she goes to Howe. A visit from the Queen to the new Earl of Denerim is only a matter of courtesy. And she demands answers.
Just get to the point of the story. I guess that didn't go well.
He calls her every sort of name, traitor being the kindest, and locks her in a guest room.
She has soldiers. Let them free her. Loghain would allow that?
King Kaelin was like a son to him, and Loghain left him to die. Does he love Enora more? Who can say? I think her life is in danger. I heard Howe say she would be a greater ally dead than alive, especially if her death could be blamed on Arl Howe.
Would Loghain kill his own daughter just to frame Eamon?
We may have no choice but to trust Enora. The Queen is well loved. If Loghain succeeded in pinning her death on me, I'm not sure that's a risk we can afford to take.
You're right. We have to help. So what do you propose we do?
I have some uniforms. Arl Howe hires so many new guards every day. A few more will not cause much stir. I will show you to the servants' entrance. We must slip in and out with my queen before anyone is the wiser. I will go ahead to Howe's estate. Meet me there as soon as you can.
One hole in that plan there, lady. My height? I am definitely not a Denerim guard. I am like half the size of a normal guard in Denerim. That's not gonna pass. Something's fishy around here.
I'm glad you decided to help. With Enora's knowledge, we have a far better chance against Loghain.
You're right, I'll meet Elena at Howe's estate. I don't trust this Elena. She knows too much. Do you think Loghain's daughter would turn on him? What do you know about Queen Enora?
She and Kaelin were promised as children and practically raised together. She was a smart child. Knew how to listen, and how to blink those big blue eyes and get anything she wanted. Her mother's looks, her father's brains, and the best tutoring Merrick's money could buy. It's a potent combination.
Do you truly think Loghain's daughter would turn on him?
From Alina's story, he turned against her first. If he truly intends to sacrifice her, I think it will be strong motivation to break the parental bonds. In any event, I would far rather have the opportunity to ask such things of her than simply hear about her murder. If Honora speaks out against Loghain, hers would indeed be one of the most powerful voices of the Landsmeet.
But if I break in, can they frame me on for her murder?
No more easily than without you there. There will be none to see it, save those who are already loyal to Loghain. And given your reputation, Warden, I think Loghain knows it's safer to carry out his plots far from where you can disrupt them.
I should get given.
As you like. My palace is your palace.
Alistair, I want to talk to you.
I haven't been here in a while. They've changed the dining room. Ask away.
I have some questions.
Of course.
What's it like to be a Gray Warden with all the
I
others?
didn't know them for very long. But I guess it was longer than you. You never met them all, did you? They were quite a group. Actually, they felt like an extended family since we were all cut off from our former lives. We also laughed more than you'd think. There was this one time... Well, you probably don't want to hear stories about men you didn't know.
No, I like to hear about them. Were there any dwarves amongst them?
There was one when I first joined, a dwarf named Kerrick. He was one of the elders, and he left for Orzammar before the reports of the Blight began. It's too bad, really. Kerrick said that he never wanted to go back. He wanted to die fighting Darkspawn on the surface. There was one Grey Warden who came all the way from the Anderfells. What was his name? Gregor. He was a burly man with the biggest, fuzziest beard you've ever seen. And the man could drink. He drank all the time, but he never got drunk. Finally, we all made a pool to see just how many pints it would take to put him under the table.
Wait, Knight Commander Knight Commander Gregor? Oh, he's a guy from Dragon Age 2. He's the Knight Commander from Dragon Age 2. Well, no, not Knight Commander, but he's a second Knight. Gregor sounds very familiar. Sounds like he had a lot of fun. Wait, no, Gregor's a Grey Warden. I think he comes up with 2. Sounds like he had a lot of fun.
Sometimes. We were kin of a sort. All of us had gone through the joining, so we knew... Anyhow, it doesn't have to be deadly serious all the time. Anyhow, we never did find out. He said he'd drink a pint for every half pint that the rest of us drank. He was still going by the time the rest of us were passed out. I'm told that Duncan walked in later on and saw us all passed out from one end of the hall to the other, and Gregor still drinking. Duncan laughed until he nearly... Until...
A lot of people have died, Alistair, and a lot more will. Not this again. Aren't you done yet? I'm sorry, this must be hard for you.
Yes, I suppose so. I thought I was done with this, but it just struck me that I have nothing to remember Duncan by. Nothing at all. There's no body, not even a token of his that I could take with me. That must sound really stupid to you.
You have your memories of him. Not at all. You have your memories of him.
I just would have liked something of his to take with me, that's all. Well, there's no use in moaning about it, is there? He's gone. Let's just go.
Get on out there.
Indeed. Yes.
Yes.
The servants' entrance is on the other side of the house. We must slip past this crowd to reach it. We will have to be very careful. Arl Howe is inside. Yes, and wherever he goes, a great many guards go with him. The estate is in poor repair. The new Arl, he has not been very prompt in paying his workmen. I will be right behind you.
No, Darkness Craft Hall has had enough of Howe's conveniently busy schedule. We will not be put off again.
Nor will the stonemasons. It's been a month since we've seen so much as a coin of Howe's for our work.
His lordship is much engaged with the region. He will hear your complaints as soon as he has the time.
The Arl used to come here in the winter when I was small. I slept with the hounds.
I can distract the guards, but you must move quickly. Hurry! My lady does not have much time. Are you all prepared? I will go distract the guards. These two know who is allowed to come and go. They will not be fooled, but the uniform should work on most of those inside. I will lure them into the courtyard. Wait in the bushes. Oh, you must come! I saw something! By the fountain! I think it was a darkspawn!
Darkspawn?
They will drag us all underground to be eaten!
Should we call for help?
Did you fall off a cart full of stupid? Call for help? So they can see us act like scared little girls because of some knife-eared wench?
They will eat us all alive! Please, get help!
If there is something out there and we don't sound the alarm, we'll look worse than scared.
And drast these holy knickers. Fine, we'll check the courtyard, if it'll keep you from wetting yourself. But there's nothing there.
Thank you. Oh! It was over here! Quickly! It took me forever to be rid of those two. You must be careful now. The servants, they will not look closely at anyone in uniform. All guards are alike to a cook, no? But you should not draw attention to yourself. Most of the guards are new. They will not know you for a stranger at a glance. It is best you keep your distance from all of them and try to blend in. She is in a guest room off the main hall. Andraste, guide us.
No.
The Gray Warden is here, my lady.
Thank the Maker. I would greet you properly, but I'm afraid we've had a setback. My host was not content with leaving me under heavy guard. He sealed the door by magic.
I did not know. There were only guards here when I left. We must get her out of there.
Don't panic, Erlina. Find the mage who cast the spell. He'll most likely be at Howe's side. Well, if he didn't know you were here, he soon will.
Please, Warden, I beg you, do not leave my queen here.
Free me, and I promise you my aid in the Landsmeet.
We do not have much time. We must go before the guards discover us. Arl Howe will probably be in his rooms. They're at the end of the hall, on the left. Arl Howe is probably in his rooms. The last door on your left.
What? Who goes there?
I thank you for creating such distraction, stranger. I have been waiting days for the opportunity. Do you think you could... Alistair? Is that you?
Who? Wait. I do know you. You were at my joining. He's one of us. A warden from Orlais. Jada, I think. Or was it Montserrat? I'm afraid I don't remember your name.
I'm Riordan, senior warden of Jada, but born and bred in Highever, and glad to be home. With an offer of hospitality and a poisoned chalice. I was fool enough to think Loghain didn't yet know who I was. I saw him go into the dungeons. He may still be there. Because I wasn't there. I was sent from Orlais when we received no word from King Cailan. The king had invited all the wardens of Orlais and their support troops to join him. Then nothing. We had 200 wardens and 24 divisions of cavalry. The first we heard of Loghain's edict was when everyone was turned back at the border. That was when the rumor reached us that wardens were being blamed for the massacre. We finally decided it was safest to send someone alone to learn how best to fight the Blight and this regime simultaneously. As a native Ferelden, I volunteered to make the crossing. The other wardens won't risk their strength fighting Ferelden's civil war. If they spend themselves against Loghain, there is truly no hope. They recall accounts of the first Blight, how many cities fell. If Ferelden is too foolish to save itself, at least, we'll be ready when the Archdemon leads its forces further. Besides, I hear you haven't been doing badly at raising an army yourself. But perhaps if the edict can be lifted, I will send a message as soon as we are gone from this place. Yes, these are my records. The names of the dead I could recognize at Ostagar. What I could find of Duncan's own recruitment records. Copies of the joining ritual I rescued from our Denerim vault. Those should never be seen by any outside eyes, but I trust in their encryption. Would that I could, for Ferelden sorely needs them. But for the joining to work, the recruit needs not only fresh Darkspawn blood, but a drop of blood preserved from an Archdemon. Ferelden's supply should have been in the vault, but it was gone. I can only imagine someone took it out and Loghain either confiscated or destroyed it. As you know, the joining's chance of success is slim anyway. Loghain has done far worse to the Wardens than cut us off from recruiting. And from the rumors flying through Denerim, removing him from the throne is already your plan, no? It seems to me the first order of business is to leave this place. It will do neither of us good to be caught at the site of the massacre.
We've been staying with Arl Howe at his estate. If you need a place to stay, I'm sure he'd make you welcome.
At Arl Howe's, then. And good luck, brother.
Who goes? You think you're clever, do you? Anybody tries to come in here without Howe's say-so, we get to do what we like with them. I think we finally got a bit of entertainment here, lads.
Was this supposed to be a lesson? Did my father think it funny to leave me for so long before sending you? You move in august company, stranger. I am Oswin, son of Ban Sigurd, of the Dragon's Peak Banon. If you aren't one of our soldiers, pray tell me, who should I be thanking for my rescue? Then I have no question about why you would come, Warden. For it is your men who have suffered the most here. You have my heartfelt gratitude. And I assume the gratitude of the entire Dragon's Peak Banon. If my father sent no one after me, I can only assume that he does not yet know the true colors of the snakes he is allied with. But if you talk to him, I'm certain he would offer you any reward you might ask. Then there is a Landsmeet after all. Howe said the Arl of Redcliffe was dead, and the Landsmeet called off. I swear, if there be any forum to speak out against Loghain, my father will be there. Now, please, I must try to get to him. I cannot see the last of this place too soon.
Sounding the horns for retreat. Do you hear it? Do you hear the dogs howling? They said to retreat. The horns sounded and we turned, and then the screams. We rode and they screamed and screamed and... Mother, can you smell the blood? They said it was only Darkspawn. But we ate them too. They died. And we left them. In the swamp. The witch. The witch!
He's obviously mad. I don't think you'll get anything more out of him.
Safe? Is there a safe? Perhaps next door?
Oh, Maker. What month is it? Are you some enemy of Arl Urian's? Please, I feel like I've spent half my life down here. The Arl's son, he abducted my bride on our wedding day. When I tried to rescue her, I don't remember. She was screaming and he was laughing and I charged at him. And woke up here. I don't know if she's even still alive. Rebellion? I know my kinsmen were unhappy with the Arl, but I can't imagine a rebellion. There have been many changes since they caught me. I need to find out what happened. I need to get home, or flee the city. I thank you for your aid, stranger. I wish I had more than gratitude to offer.
Well, well, the Gray Warden. I must say I'm surprised Eamon would condone you invading my castle and murdering my men. Is he losing faith in the persuasive powers of his Landsmeet? The traitorous bitch has you under her thumb. Honora does love games. I'm surprised she'd play with the likes of you. You should have left when you had the chance, Warden. Slunk off to the Anderfells to hide with the rest of your kind. This Landsmeet is a farce. Loghain will triumph, and you will die.
They're all so eager to die.
Make us spit on you. I deserved more.
Who's there? Stay away. You can't do this to me. I'll have you all flayed. I'm the Arl of Denerim. I'm Vaughan Kendalls, heir to the Arling of Denerim. It's true. Too many of our troops were lost at Ostagar. When the riots started, Howe came with men to reinforce the garrison here. Or that's what he claimed. As soon as I let him into the palace, he threw me in here. One more victim of the Elven uprising, he said. Let me out of here. I'll do anything. In my room, there's a lockbox full of sovereigns. Free me, and the key is yours. I swear you won't regret this.
Make it have mercy on your faithful servant. Make it have mercy on your faithful servant. Andraste, Bride of the Maker, have mercy on me. Alstana, is that you, little sister? No, I don't know you, do I? Are you real? Alstana? I don't know. Where is my sister? Have you seen her? I'm Erminric, Knight Lieutenant of the Denerim Chantry. You aren't one of the Tairn's men?
He sounds like he's in lyrium withdrawal. He's got all the signs, confusion, weepiness. He probably doesn't even know what he's saying. If the Grand Cleric knew he were in here, she'd be spitting hot coals. Nobles don't have authority over Templars.
I failed in my duties, Maker. Forgive me. I failed, and there's no telling what he's done. Alfstanna is a far better man than I would have been, but I don't remember how I came to be here. The Malefica. He had turned blood magic upon Templars and Circle Mages to escape from his tower. Near Redcliffe, I cornered him, but the Tairn's men took him from me and brought me here. Yes, he destroyed his phylactery. We were spread out, trying to find him. I was alone. You are real, aren't you? My dreams are so strange now. Please, if you're not a dream, help me. Give this ring to my sister, Alfstanna. Tell her I'm sorry. Please, ask her to pray for me.
I have finished.
I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask? How about Ogren? You must have an opinion on the smell, at the very least. Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say. For a drunk, he's an excellent warrior, right? How he lifts his sword is a bit of a mystery. Though I suppose the point is that he does lift it. And so long as we can point him in the right direction, he charges too. He has gusto, I'll give him that. Zevran, the elf. You can't trust him, can you? Do you believe his so-called vow? That's a lot to put on a maybe, isn't it? He's an assassin. The crows aren't known for giving up. Maybe he's just biding his time. Well, if you are, then maybe I should too. But that doesn't mean I won't keep an eye on him. He's just too shifty. What about Sten? The way he looks at me with those eyes. Creepy. And he's so quiet for someone so big. Yet he doesn't seem quite so bad as the Chantry tells us. According to them, his philosophy is vile and evil. Yet he seems so reasonable. And yet, he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you? I'm not so sure that his regret means the same as it would for us. The Kunari sense of honor is a bit hard to grasp. For me, anyway. What about Liliana? Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision? That's one way to put it. I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life. Yes, I know. Still, I feel badly for her. Morrigan, do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said. Well, aside from the fact that she's a complete and utter bitch, no, I don't like her at all. Why, do you? Great. So they were right. Well, it's your funeral. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we?
All done.
My thanks.
Because there are two sorts of people in this house. Those loyal to Howe, and those loyal to me. If Howe's people find me, I'll be killed. And my people will insist on escorting me back to the palace, where my father may also have me killed.
Warden, in the name of the Regent, I am placing you under arrest for the murder of Rendon Howe and his men-at-arms. Surrender, and you may be shown mercy. Don't be ridiculous. The Queen isn't being held prisoner here or anywhere else. Her father would never stand for such a thing. Unlike you, some of us know what honor and loyalty are. I have no doubts about Loghain. Bring them down! Loghain wants the Warden, dead or alive.
Hold the noise, Father!
have a problem.
We have very little time for chat. We need to work out a plan.
Calm down. What has happened?
The wardens have been captured.
What? How could this happen?
Never mind that. The question is how to free him.
Surely you mean them, Your Highness. We need Alistair too.
Yes, of course, I meant Alistair too.
I know where they are. The Grey Warden is in possession of a ring that allows me to locate him. Getting to him, however, is quite something else.
Oh, you're awake. I was starting to worry. Join the Grey Wardens. See the sights from the floors of the best prisons in the land. It's not much of a recruitment slogan, is it? Who do you think will come?
I wonder who should come to our aid. Huh. No. I'm sure Sten will come for us.
I wish I could see that. One person assaulting Fort Draken all alone.
I mean, it wouldn't just be Sten. It would be Sten with, Steve, you know? Sten and Steve, you know? They're pretty much up here. They will... I'm pretty sure they could take down this whole fortress together.
I hope you're right.
You really put... Alistair, you really put all this fate up on Canary and a dog! Yeah, we're totally breaking them out. This is gonna go so easy.
What's your business in Fort Draken?
Let's then bluff.
I'm a giant with a war dog. Either I am making a delivery, or I am besieging your fort. Hope for the former.
I wasn't told we were getting a Mabari.
Leave this to Steve.
What in Andraste's name?
Good dog.
I've got to go change. This is disgusting.
All right, wait over there. I'll get the captain to let you through.
Okay. No problem.
This is pointless. We should simply go in fighting. And now I'm talking to an animal. I've been in this country too long.
All right, what's this about?
Leave this to Steve.
Is that a purebred Mabari? Very well, take him through. And tell Neville I want a word with him when you get there.
What? Huh? What? Huh? You're...
Don't bother us. We're not on duty until next watch.
My bad.
Wait.
That would be pretty cool to use the ballista. But Sten, I think we should just leave it on to Steve. I think he got this. Let's talk to these guards real quick.
Did you hear what happened to Sir Calthrian?
No. What?
Let Steve handle this.
Where'd you come from?
Continue.
Is that a purebred? Maker's breath.
Continue.
Blighted mutt!
Take it easy. You can't just attack a Mabari.
Are you mad? Didn't you see that cur bite me? I'll turn him into a rug.
Andraste's knickers, man. It's a Mabari. He wouldn't have bit you if you weren't such an ass.
You're taking the dog's side? Oh, that's it.
You are a better strategist than I thought.
Do it in the mess like everyone else.
Oh,
Be
we
ready.
just sneak right past.
These
Don't worry
soldiers
about
will
Nari
not stop
and
to
the dog.
listen to stories.
Oh, we're now past the.
So be
point
it.
of
Ask another.
Make people mad.
Intruders! Something comes. So be it.
Take out this go. Hey, jailer. Hey-ya! I need assistance. Thank you.
Katana buzz! As you wish.
I have completed the task.
Yes, you have.
The irony of this moment is not lost on me.
The irony. Wait. Where did those guys go? They were just duking it out here. Is that pure Mabari? What the? Yeah, so I Hey! The Mabari's still here. Just let us go. It's so good. Too bad it had to end so quickly. We're at Fort Draken. This is where the final battle is. Time to head back to Arl of Redcliffe. Arl Eamon State. Hey,
whoever you are, Wait. I know you. My son described you in great detail. He tells me that I owe you his life.
I would leave no man to suffer at Arl Howe's hands.
When I saw my poor boy's legs, I only wish Howe still lived that I might tear him apart myself. I would bring troops against his son. But Oswin tells me Thomas had no part in his father's depravity. Is there anything you would ask as a reward for saving Oswin?
All I want is for you to speak out against Loghain.
Thank you again. Know that I will stand behind you at the Landsmeet with all the support I can muster. In fact, I am taking my supper today with Ban Reginalda of the White River Benorn. I'll speak with her about this at once.
Thanks for your aid, Sigurd.
What do you suppose Eamon is playing at? Surely he doesn't expect us to believe Anora unfit to rule with her father to advise.
I already heard this.
May I help you?
I was asked to give you this.
This is Ermenric's. Explain yourself. My brother would no more part with this ring than with his head.
He needs your help.
He's alive then? Please, if you have any news of my brother, I would hear it.
He's in the dungeons of the Arl of Denerim's estate.
A dungeon? What? No. I will go to him at once. Someone will answer for this. Take this with my thanks. It has been in my family since the War of Crowns, crafted for us by the Circle of Magi. An heirloom is a small thing compared to my brother's life.
My bad. Man, why is space such a problem? I thought I popped all the backpacks. Elf? Okay. Head on in.
This is a nice estate, isn't it? What's on your mind? I will answer to the best of my ability.
How do you become a mage?
People don't become mages. They are born mages. The talent just surfaces later. But you are asking how I ended up at the Circle. I was brought there by the Templars, just like many of the other apprentices. I don't remember very much. I was very young then.
What about your family? How did they know you were a mage?
I set a boy on fire.
Why?
It's a long story. I didn't have a family. I never knew my real parents. My earliest memory was of hiding in a hayloft on a farm, trying to keep warm. I was found, and the farmer's wife was kind enough not to send me away. But they had children of their own, and I was never made to feel welcome. The eldest son was the worst. He was always calling me a stray and throwing anything he could get his hands on at me. And I don't know how it happened, but one day he just found his hair on fire. Fortunately, there was a large trough nearby.
Serve him right. Was he seriously hurt?
I had singed his hair and eyebrows, but injured little other than his pride. Who knows what they would have done to me had he been more seriously hurt. Thankfully, all I had to endure was a few nights locked in a cold barn with a bowl of water and a crust of bread. The Templars arrived several mornings later.
What happened when you arrived at the tower? Were the Templars mean to you?
One of them ignored me, but the other was kind to me. He gave me sweets and even sat me on his shoulders once when I wanted to look over a high wall that ran along the road. I'll never forget the moment the Templars led me into the entrance hall of the tower. I had never seen anything so grand in my life. I stopped being afraid then. I knew I was home.
That's a great story. Well, did you know it was just a pretty prison? That's a great story.
Well, that's about all there is to my tale. That's how I came to the circle.
What was life like in the tower?
I would be lying if I said it was easy. First, there were rules, and we were constantly watched to make sure we behaved appropriately. Then there was the study of magic. We had to cast the spells just so, control the effects completely. A single word spoken incorrectly, a gesture out of sync, and lack of focus. And we needed to have perfect focus, or we would be in danger.
I used to learn the dangers of magic from the circle.
Without the circle and my mentors, I would not have been where I am today. And there was joy in life at the circle. The joys of fellowship, in knowing that you were not alone in your struggles. In spite of everything, I was happy in the tower, and I loved it.
There's nothing else I want to discuss right now. I like that story at first.
Maker's breath. It's good to see you in one piece, my friend.
Indeed. We have been praying for your safe return, Warden.
I think I've seen as much dungeon as I ever want to. It's good to see you're all right,
I
Nora.
was uncertain you would respond as you did, considering the consequences. I am glad you did. Thank you. Now, however, we must work together. And quickly. My father has gone mad. I didn't believe it at first, but he is gripped by a paranoia so severe it prevents him from seeing sense. He saw me as a threat, yet even now I'm certain he will be telling the nobles you are dangerous murderers that have kidnapped and mind-controlled me. He may even believe it.
Can you still take the throne without you? Is there no way to reason with them?
I thought so. I'd hoped so. Howe's influence was strong. His death can only be a good thing, but even that will not be enough. I know my father, and he is committed to his course. He will see this through, no matter what. You will need ammunition come the Landsmeet, and I can help you in that regard. You have only just arrived in the city, so perhaps you are unaware of some recent events. Denerim has been in turmoil since Ostagar. Many people here are angry or grieving. Strangely, the unrest is worst in the Alienage. Few elves accompanied the army. They should have little reason to be upset, which means that Howe and my father must have given them reason. I don't know what is happening there, but I am certain my father has his hands in it.
A useful lead, Nora, but you could have sent this information with your maid.
That is true. I feared for my safety as Howe's prisoner. But to tell the truth, I sent Elena to you because I hoped we might join forces. You need that evidence for the Landsmeet. But you also need a stronger candidate for the throne. You need me.
And why should we trust you?
You don't need to trust me. We have the same goal. That is far better than trust. I have no doubt Alistair is biddable enough. and decent, but even with his blood, he is no king. You think only I can see it? Not only that, Alistair is a Grey Warden. It will look like you are trying to put a Grey Warden on the throne, despite your claims. I am a neutral party, and I am already queen.
Honora, you are indeed Kaelin's widow, but...
I am the daughter of Ferelden's greatest general. Who do you think truly ruled this nation for the last 5 years? Kaelin. I am what this country needs, not an untrained king who does not even want the throne. I can help you stop my father. Consider what I have said. For now, I think I will retire to my room. Warden, when you have a moment, I ask that you speak to me in private.
Well, she's quite spirited. I remember when Loghain first brought her to Denerim. Poor Kaelin was a good boy, but Honora was always 2 steps ahead. Had him jumping when she snapped since the first time she batted her eyelashes. I cannot help thinking she may be trouble, but we should keep her close, all the same.
Why do you think she's trouble?
This is an alliance of convenience. For the moment, we are united against Loghain. Be careful how much trust you place in her. I do not for a moment think Honora means to give up her power easily. Still, I would rather have her where we can watch her than actively working for Loghain.
Are we planning to dispose her? Yeah, she's single now, right?
Are you thinking you might stand at a chance at courtship? It would be unseemly for her to marry so soon after Kaelin's death. She wouldn't take that risk unless it helps her secure the throne.
I was, thinking more Alistair.
Are you serious? No, never mind. I don't even want to hear the rest of this. You two just keep talking about me. I'm just standing over here with my fingers in my ears.
That would certainly solve a lot of problems, and put forth the strongest argument before the Landsmeet to remove Loghain from power. With Therin blood on the throne, and Honora's wisdom and popularity, Ferelden could present the most united front against the Blight. Unfortunately, the marriage would never happen, unless they both agreed to it. And I suspect that might take a lot of persuading to get past her pride and his humility.
Why is it so important to put Merrick's son on the throne?
Ferelden was first united by Calenhad, the Silver Knight. For 400 years, his descendants have ruled Ferelden. That was the heritage we preserved from the Orlesians. And it is the heritage I will fight for as long as one of Calenhad's descendants still lives. Without that to unite us, we could scatter back to warring Terniers.
Let's talk about something else.
We certainly have a great deal to plan.
What do you think he's doing in the
Maker knows what that man is capable of now.
I've got work to do. Of
course, if I might make a suggestion, go speak with Honora. She will either be a powerful ally or a powerful enemy, and the sooner we know which she is, the better.
Hello, Mr. Nora? Miss Queen Nora?
Hello again, Warden. It is good that you came to speak with me. I will be blunt. I can see that your voice will be a strong one in days to come. It is to you that Eamon listens, and with good reason. My father must be stopped, but once that is done, Ferelden will need a ruler. I would welcome your support for my throne.
Are you proposing an alliance? Why should I support you?
For years, I have ruled this kingdom as Kaelin's queen. As much as they loved Kaelin, all of the Banon knew this to be so. Kaelin was a good man, but what is needed now is not another good man, but a good ruler. I sent Alina here not solely because I thought I needed help, but because I saw an opportunity for us both. I need your support, Warden, and you will need mine.
Are you proposing an alliance? I think you're a better candidate than Alistair.
Do you disagree? You are a fellow Grey Warden. What do you think of Alistair's potential to rule? Never mind his willingness.
She's probably needs in the past. No! Being a crew requires more than ambition.
Alistair seems like a kind, well-meaning man, and biddable enough. These are admirable qualities, if not kingly ones. He also seems to be a fine Grey Warden, which is exactly why he should remain one and serve the kingdom by defeating the Darkspawn.
Just how do you know? Just how do you know so much about him? A kind king who is a fine warrior? Sounds good to me.
Kaelin knew of Alistair. It was Arl Howe that kept Alistair out of the courts, as Merrick had desired. Oh, there are some who would follow Alistair out of respect for his Therin blood. The others would see this as Howe grabbing for power. Who else do you think Alistair would turn to for help? Eventually, the nobility would return to the old days of constant warring with each other. Alistair's weakness would destroy everything Merrick built.
What's your alternative? No, it seemed too late to Alistair much.
My feelings towards Alistair have nothing to do with it. I barely know him. I simply believe that I am what this country needs. I will fight for what I believe. Would Alistair do the same? Thus, I say again, I would welcome your support for the throne if you would give it.
I don't think I'm as important as you believe.
No? You're a Grey Warden. And despite the fact that my father will paint himself as the only one who can protect the country from the Blight, it is not so. Secondly, you saved Arl Howe from a plot that no doubt had its origins in Howe's sick little mind. People will not forget that. You are competent and powerful, and in the right place at the right time. Used to your advantage, these things could bring you far.
Oh, no, I'm just some castless dwarf. I don't know what you're talking about. If you go back to Orzammar, I'm no big deal. I
agree that there is much to be done before the Landsmeet, but don't you think plans should still be made for what will follow? I do.
Are you proposing an alliance?
That is exactly what I am proposing. When the time comes, you support my bid in the Landsmeet to remain on the throne. You will be seen as my father's enemy, yet you will be in support of his daughter. You will be seen as supporting the interests of Ferelden, as opposed to solely those of the Grey Wardens. In return, I add my voice to yours. Do you see? Together we can do what alone we cannot.
Why not simply marry Alistair? It's the best of both worlds.
Ignoring that the man looks so much like Kaelin, my recently dead husband, if you'll recall, my main fear is that he might govern like Kaelin as well. But it is true that Alistair has Therin blood. To some, this is more important even than practical considerations. A union might be considered a compromise, but is this something Alistair even desires?
I think I could convince him.
Let me say this. If Alistair is willing to stand back and allow me to continue governing the nation, then I would be willing to have him as my king. It is my understanding that governing does not appeal to him anyhow. If that is so, this is a compromise I can live with.
I will speak to him then.
Do so. I will be interested to hear what he has to say.
I'm not interested. Hey, Alistair, you know, that thing, you don't want to be any part of? You mind if I ask you to do something?
So I'm guessing someone told Honora I was planning to steal her throne. She has a nasty glare. Did anyone mention this wasn't my idea? I think she's a great queen. As far as I'm concerned, she's welcome to it.
I think you'd be a great king, Alistair.
Really? Whatever will give you that idea?
You have a kind heart and a strong sense of justice. Therin blood would tell. You'll rise to the occasion. You have a kind heart and a strong sense of justice.
Well, it's nice that you think so. What do you think I should do? Go ahead and be king? Just let it happen?
I think you should marry Honora.
Marry her. As in marriage, as in be her husband. You've spoken to her about this? You did, didn't you? Why would you do that? Did you take a blow to the head? That's crazy.
It's a smart move, and I think you know that too. She can rule while you lead. It's perfect. I feel this is the best compromise for peace. I do think it's the best compromise for peace, but she can rule while you lead. It's perfect.
I suppose. I don't know how much of a leader I am, but at least I know she's a good ruler. Go ahead, then. Tell her I'll do it if it comes to that. Now, excuse me while I go have a small heart attack somewhere. No big deal, right?
My bad, Alistair. I know you approve, but like, this is a lot to push onto you. And I'm a dwarf. I'm a castless dwarf. I have a lot to say on the surface. I can make a king and a queen rule a land. Okay.
Well, have you spoken to my lucky betrothed yet? Or will we be reduced to passing notes?
He's agreed to your terms.
He has? I wasn't expecting that, to tell you the truth. To marry Kaelin's brother. Well, I suppose stranger things have happened. If it will truly help matters... Is this it, then? I agree to marry Alistair, to retain my throne, and in exchange I give you my support. If not, then tell me now.
Marry Alistair, and you have my support.
Done. So, we have a deal, Warden. I trust you'll keep your end of the bargain. Now, I suppose, comes the task of dealing with my father. That will be no small feat, of course, but I am certain you already know this. I imagine you have much to do. Is there anything else you needed from me?
Do you need anything?
No. And while I know your concern is hardly disinterested, still... Thank you.
You sure you don't need anything? With a big pause. When we get to the Landsmeet, there's some...
Warden, let me know if there's any assistance I can give you. We have much to do and little time.
I think I persuaded Alistair and Aurora to marry.
My hearing must be going. I could swear you just said that Alistair and Honora agreed to marry.
You don't sound pleased. You did want me to get Honora on our side, didn't you? Threats may have been involved. May have been involved. Yeah. You didn't want to get Nora on our side, did you?
Of course, but I hardly imagined that you could convince her so readily. I am impressed. This alliance can only help us. Well done, my friend.
I should get to work.
We need to do all that we can in the few days left to us before the Landsmeet.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot you were here, Gray Warden. I can't talk to you.
Hello again, friend. It looks as though you're no worse for wear after your stay in Fort Draken.
Can you tell me about that vault again?
It's located just off the Market District in the northern alley past the Old Noble Tavern. I'll sketch out the code which will let you pass the lock wheel. Inside you can take your pick of whatever equipment remains. It is the stockpile the Wardens have kept for centuries for the defense of Denerim.
Did you know Duncan very well?
We went through our joining together, more years ago than I like to remember. He was exactly the same back then, tough as stone and just as grizzled. I think he understood sooner than the rest of us how ugly a choice it is to let the few be sacrificed to protect the many. Always left himself a soft spot for his recruits, though. Only way he ever let himself down.
I was hoping I could learn a bit more about the Gray Warden.
Well, I'd be happy to tell you what I know, but it seems to me that you've picked the important parts up yourself. Be firm in your beliefs, protect people from their own ignorance, and be as loyal as you can to your brothers, even knowing you'll share their deaths.
How many Wardens are there?
It's tough to say. Only the fortress in Weishaupt has every record. But there are certainly a few dozen or hundreds in every nation in Thedas. The Anderfells are home to over 1,000. It's almost like the Archdemon chose Ferelden deliberately, knowing how unguarded it is.
Have you ever been to the fortress in Weishaupt?
Once only, and I'd rather not go again. It's far, lad. And very foreign. The wardens there, they fight darkspawn like you and me. But they're shaped by the winters there and the forest. They're a cold group and don't care like they should about the rest of the world. Their king is weak, and many Anders look to the wardens to rule. I hate to say this, but some of them seem to want it that way.
Weishaupt is pretty cool, not gonna lie. How were the wardens founded?
It was near 1,200 years ago, and no one knows for sure, except that it began with a group of Anders soldiers. Apparently, they defected from their king's army, vowing that fighting the Blight was more important, and traveled all the way to Tevinter themselves. They were the first ones to track down the Archdemon Dumat, and the ones to slay him, though none survived the battle. But they had picked up followers by then, and it was they who formally founded the Order, and were recognized by Thedas.
Dumat was the first Archdemon? There's a lot of reference to him in the Inquisition, I think. Why has it been so long since the last
Archdemons don't awaken on their own, you know. It takes the Darkspawn, tunneling, searching for centuries to find one. And with no one to lead them, it must be sheer chance, or maybe instinct, which leads them. What's surprising isn't that it takes so long between Blights. What's surprising is that they succeed at all. But I imagine the old gods call to them. And it's that voice in the darkness which drives them through so many generations.
Oh, yes, that's all.
The important thing to remember is, none of that matters. When you're facing Darkspawn, all you need to know is to stop them at all costs.
I want to talk to you.
Hello again, friend. It looks as though you're no worse for wear after your stay in Fort Draken.
What are your plans
now? When
now?
I'm well enough, I'm going to continue my journey toward Ostagar. Hopefully I'll be able to trace the heart of the Blight and where the Archdemon itself abides. If we want to defeat this Archdemon, we need to know where it is and how soon it might strike.
You going back to Ostagar? You're going alone? Should I go with you?
If there were more of us, I would agree. But as it is, I don't think we can deprive all the armies of gathered of a commander.
Yeah, I need to go.
Good luck to you, then. We will have to talk again when the Landsmeet is more settled.
Bruh. This Gray Warden cache. Or vault. Inconspicuous in here. Oh. What's that? A map of the Anderfells? Hey, Alistair.
This shield. It's Duncan's, isn't it? That's his crest.
I thought maybe why want it.
Thank you. Truly, I had no idea his shield wasn't with him. This is perfect. I don't know how else to express my gratitude. This means a great deal to me. I can't believe you remembered it at all.
Of course I remember.
I'll treasure this. Thank you.
Hey, it's open. Wait, I want to talk to the guard.
The worst of it's cleaned up now. Just watch yourself if you're going in. The Alienage is a festering sore full of parasites. And that's on a good day.
Don't want any trouble. I'm just
just on my way to...
Someone's coming.
Thanks for running those thugs off. I thought they were gonna kill me.
Are you alright?
I'm fine. Please, don't talk to me. You'll only attract their notice.
Okay. Hello, veteran.
Spare a silver for a war veteran?
Hope this will get you off the street.
Oh, Andraste, bless you, sir. I won't forget your face. No, I won't.
No problem, bud. Syrian's house? Don't mind me breaking into people's house.
It's you. Come in. I didn't thank you before, did I? I wish I could give you something. Everything I owned was lost to looters after the purge. Not that I had anything valuable to begin with.
Can you tell me what's going on
It's a
here?
plague, so they say. I've seen a few sick people since I've been back, but I don't know how bad it really is. There are mages from Tevinter here helping to treat it. But there's something odd going on, though. My cousin Shiani could tell you more. You can't miss her. Just look for the angriest woman in the alienage.
Why hasn't the alienage been closed off? The Chantry allows foreign magic here?
I guess so. I'd expect Templars here otherwise.
Does this magical treatment work?
I don't know. You can only find out for certain if it doesn't work. And no one wants to put it to a serious test.
Why hasn't the alienage been closed
Between
off?
the Civil War and Ostagar, the city doesn't have enough soldiers left to seal the alienage. And only elves and refugees have gotten sick. I'm sure that if anyone important gets the plague, the alienage will burn. I guess the plague's been pretty bad. I've seen a few sick people myself, but by the time I got here, it seemed to be under control. There are mages from Tevinter here helping to treat it. But there's something odd going on, though. My cousin Shiani could tell you more. You can't miss her. Just look for the angriest woman in the alienage. I know you've already done a lot for me, but I have to ask. Could you talk to Shiani? Please. I don't know what's going on here, but I know she's in over her head.
I'll see what I can do.
Really? I don't know what to say. Thank you. Make her bless you.
Thank you, my guy. I saved you once.
Oh, it's good to see you again, friend. You were so generous to me before, and these are other veterans.
I'm an orphan.
Oh, and an orphan. Please, my lord, can you spare some coin?
Where did you guys come from so quickly? Here's your chance at a better life.
Oh, you're too kind. Just too kind.
The Maker preserve you.
Long live the good sir!
Here. How many of our brothers and...
I've got children at home. I can't wait out here for another day.
So go home. The best thing you can do for your children is not trust these charlatans.
Everyone remain calm. We will help as many as we can today, so long as we can do this in an orderly fashion.
Oh, you're helping us, are you, Shem? Like Valendrian and my Uncle Syrian, you helped them, didn't you? Help them never to be seen again.
We've explained this to you before, girl. More whining will not persuade us to let you into the quarantine to carry plague back out to the alienage.
Quit trying to get us all killed, Shiani. Some of us have still got things to live for.
If this spell of theirs works, why are half the people they quarantine perfectly healthy?
What's going on here? I heard there was trouble. Can I help?
You shouldn't be here, dwarf. Your kind don't leave the market district. Wait. Sora's told me about you. You're the one who freed him from the dungeons. These foreigners say they're here to help with our outbreak of plague. Funny thing, though. All the people they help disappear.
That's not true, and you know it, Shiani. Both my sisters got the Tevinter spell cast on them, and they're fine.
Where's your niece, then? And my Uncle Syrian? And Valendrian?
What's going on? And just tell me what's happened here. If there's a plague, why are people out in the street? The magic being used, does the Chantry know?
Those mages say they're from a circle, just from another land. I have no idea if they're telling the truth, or if anyone cares. These foreigners have taken dozens of elves into that house over the last few weeks, and none of them have been seen again. One of them was our Hiren, Valendrian. And I don't know what we're going to do if we don't get him back.
I think I'll go take a look inside the hospice. Does the guard know about this?
They have to know about it. The Hiren complained, and so did I. They just don't care, or something worse.
Where's the Hiren? What's a Hiren?
He's the elder, the person who guides us. Maybe that doesn't mean anything to you, but it's important to us.
I think I'll go take a look inside. I think we'll go take a look inside the hospice.
They won't just let you in.
I wasn't going to ask.
Well, just be careful. Those men are mages.
But I want all my...
There he is! Now, no crowding. Let the good sir breathe.
There are a lot of unfortunates in the alienage, sir. Many veterans, orphans, the diseased, and sad tales of all sorts.
I still don't have my parents.
Yes, sir. And poor Oli still doesn't have his parents. Anything you can spare would be appreciated.
Whole lot of you beggars. Someone has to help you.
Huzzah! Huzzah for the hero of the Denerim!
All of us are eating tonight.
Yeah, that was actually way less than I gave you the first one. Okay, let's get this alienage.
I ask you to stand back. Some of these people are carrying the plague. The alienage is not safe for visitors.
Aren't you afraid of getting the plague?
If we did not know how to prevent the plague, we would not be here now.
What school of magic does this spell belong to? Our circle knows of none which fully prevents plagues.
You will have to excuse us, but we are not authorized to share the secrets of our circle with outsiders. For your own safety, we must ask you to leave now.
Fine, we'll go back here. Hello?
No, you can't go inside just for a moment. So you might as well walk right back around to the front doors. You shouldn't be out on the streets now anyway. What with the plague?
Keeping people from their families doesn't bother you?
Look, this is how things are. I didn't make the blight or the plague or anything. I'm just trying to make a living.
How much did they pay you?
Not enough to put up with all these questions. What do you want?
Would you let me in the house for 6 sovereigns?
6? Sure. I never saw you, and you never saw me.
Gotcha. Have no need for
I have done it.
Yes, you have.
All the toys and bother.
I just killed a deep, big, powerful. Why am I picking up everything? Ooh! Look, I got my sovereign back. There's a key with this note. Bring 8 males and 6 females for the next shipment. Huh?
All done.
For the next shipment? Male and 6 female. What's this? Apartment?
There's no way I'm going near mages.
Oh.
Who's there? Stay away!
Where are all the people who lived in this building?
I don't know. You gotta ask someone else.
What, some coin change for mine?
I saw them take everyone. Took them right out of their beds. Dragged them down the hallways. Maker, the little one's crying.
What about, where did they take
Through
everyone?
the landlord's old office. They go in there, they never come back.
What about Valendrian?
I saw him. They marched him through the hall with a bunch of others, all tied together like pack mules.
Well, let's
every few days, they come back. It's like a parade, a silent one. Men and women and children. You have to go. They'll be back soon. They'll find out I talked and they'll take me too. Please, just go.
All over.
Let's head on out. Into the Elven Alienage.
What's this? Another shipment already? Do we what? Wait, you're no Tevinter. Who are you supposed to be?
I look for the missing elves. I am Gray Warden Cthulhu.
No! I've heard of you! Attack!
Cool.
What is the meaning of this? We were told that there would be no interference from the authorities.
What? I'm not with the authorities. What's going on here?
You simply fought your way in here to ask questions, did you? You will regret this, you know. Believe it or not, we've been given dispensation to do our business here. The humans talk a great deal about how very wrong slavery is. But isn't it funny how quickly the smell of gold overcomes such ideals?
You're an elf. How can you be part of this?
So I should feel kinship for these sheep? Don't be a fool. I am Tevinter first and a servant of the Minrathu Circle second. Those are the things that matter. But enough. I am here to halt your slaughter, nothing more.
I certainly like to see you try.
Let us finish this then. I intend to see you pay for the damage you've done here.
Although I have killed Gasking.
I am Caladrius, and you, I assume, must be the Gray Warden I've heard so much about.
It seems like everyone's heard of me. You've heard of me?
One can hardly get a word out of the Regent besides Warden these days. It's surpassed even gold in popularity.
How do you know Loghain? What exactly have you heard?
I've heard that you're trying to erode Loghain's support. It must be a difficult task, yes, like washing away a mountain. Perhaps you could use some help.
Don't you have agreement with Loghain?
More of an arrangement, truth be told. One that disappears the moment angry armed intruders storm my abode. Truth be told, there was always a limit to how long we were going to be able to operate here. We've paid for many of Loghain's troops, but once the Landsmeet is done, we become inconvenient. So, here is my offer. 100 sovereigns from you for a letter with the seal of the Terran of Gwarin upon it, implicating him in all of this. Then, we leave a few days earlier than planned with our profits and remaining slaves unharmed.
'Tis a reasonable enough starting offer.
I suggest you look those elves in the eyes before you agree to have them hauled off to slavery, my friend.
So, do we have a deal? Even you must admit it's much better than resorting to barbarism, yes?
I already have 100 sovereigns. I accept help from you. How am I better than Loghain?
You're not. Did I say you were? I'm simply hoping the world is full of pragmatists, shall we say.
How do I know this letter of yours is any good?
It's legitimate. Whether or not it will actually help you, of that I cannot say. Some people will not believe the truth even when it is right in front of them, yes?
I have a counter offer.
Interesting.
My offer is this. I kill you and take everything for free.
Oh, a comedian. Let's settle this the hard way, then.
All in the voice of father.
God, I got that greater health. I am correct.
A blood sacrifice! For power! Enough! Enough!
It seems your reputation is an accurate one. I surrender.
Perhaps you should be left to the mercies of these elves.
Wait! Hear me out, kind sir. Were I to use the life force of the remaining slaves here, I could augment your physical health a great deal. Allow me to leave this place alive, and I would be more than happy to do this little service for you.
An interesting offer, if a tad messy.
Little service. He is talking of blood magic. Surely you would not consider such a thing.
No, I wouldn't.
Most wise.
Then, I don't suppose you would consider just letting me go?
No, I don't suppose I would.
Ah. Well, that is a shame, isn't it?
Desire.
Yes. Bruh. Tevinter mage.
Somehow, if I'd been asked to guess the next person to walk through that door, I wouldn't have said it would be a dwarf. Are you one of them? What happens to us now?
You're free now. Are you a Valandrian? Shiani was looking for you.
Shiani? Did she send you here? Praise the Maker. We will not trespass long on your good graces. Come, everyone. Let's go home.
Frickin' mage. What's bodies for power? Not cool. Blood is powerful. Even slave blood.
Spirit coin.
Especially elven blood. Elven blood is very powerful.
I'm sorry if I was rude to you before. Andraste's ass, you'd think I'd learned some social graces. Anyway, what I mean by all this is, thank you.
Oh, bless you. Bless you.
Where's all your friends? I want to talk to the prisoner. I mean, what's his name?
Did you
Source?
talk to Shiani? What's going on?
She thinks healthy people are being treated by the healers.
She said that to me as well, but it doesn't make any sense. Why would they lock people inside that house unless they had a reason?
So anyway, all the aliens.
Besides crawling over the wall? Come to think of it, there might be. There's a back alley that leads to some old rat trap apartments. Last year, the owner got picked up by the City Watch. His place had a door that led out to the docks. He was using it to smuggle in weapons.
Why shouldn't I be seen with you?
I attacked the Arl's son. It was stupid of me, I know. He took something from me and I tried to get it back. I failed. People think that's what brought on the purge. Maybe they're right.
I spoke with Shiani.
Did? Thank you. What did she say?
Veilguard
Yes.
discussing.
I didn't realize that. No wonder she's upset. It's a miracle the alienage hasn't burned to the ground if he's gone.
I'll let you know, my friend.
Make her protect you.
I'll talk to you. Oh, this is his house. Hey.
Ah, it's you. Welcome. Please, come in. Tell me, how is Duncan?
You know Duncan?
He's been a friend of mine for many years, yes. From the look on your face, I take it the news is bad.
He died at Ostergard.
I am sorry to hear that. I knew that the Warden suffered great losses at Ostergard, but a few escaped. I had hoped Duncan might be one of them.
What will you do about the plague now?
We've been through outbreaks of pestilence during the war with Orlais. We'll endure. I doubt very much now that the Tevinter intervention would have helped us anyway.
How do you know
He
Duncan?
came here, now and then, to look for potential recruits. Perhaps that seems strange to you, but Duncan was a man who knew that talent could emerge in the most unlikely places. Please, take this. Duncan gave it to me years ago. I suspect you'll put it to better use than I would.
Dang, thank you. Oh, that was the slave warehouse. Let's go to the market district. I have a sexton that I have to turn in. Oh, look, we pop out that side. That's cool.
Wait till all these elves are working with the Darkspawn. They'd gladly sell us down a river.
You're probably right.
I wish there was more shops, you know, in the market. Okay, let's move on to the next step. I thought Seven would approve of me, like, you know, standing up for the slaves, but he didn't get any approval. Who are you?
I hope all the accommodations are to your liking, Warden. Please let me know if anything is troubling you.
Okay.
This is a nice change from having to sleep in the woods, isn't it? Something I can help with?
I talked to you about
Yes?
something.
What's on your mind?
Why did you come to
My
Ferelden?
mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
What happened to your mother?
Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecily let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecily than my mother.
What was... Do you remember nothing of your mother? You were young, it's understandable.
Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dried flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andrastis Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on.
Ah, there you are. I was about to send out a search party. I've been hearing of a great commotion in the Alienage. What exactly happened there?
Loghain was collaborating with Tevinter slavers.
Make her forgive me. I should be appalled that such a thing could exist here. But I'm overjoyed you can implicate Loghain. We must end the civil war quickly. What the Blight does not corrupt in this land, politics surely will. The last of our allies have arrived in the city. We cannot delay any longer. I will call for the Landsmeet to convene. Bring Alistair and join me at the palace as soon as you are ready, Warden.
Finally, we're there.
Good luck to you in the Landsmeet.
Yes, sir.
I hope Eamon doesn't expect me to give a speech. Maker, he probably does, doesn't he? Oh.
Walk into the palace.
If one more servant asks if I would like a change of clothes, I will set the house on fire.
What comes, my friend?
It's like legit. Steve is trying to like bark with every word she says. I think Steve hates Morgan. I'd like to discuss.
So, full of questions, are you?
How did you become a shapeshifter? So Flemeth is dead. What
now?
now?
I have enough time to study Mother's grimoire to find a way to prevent her from stealing my body in the future. For she will be back. One day, I have no doubt of that. And if I cannot protect myself, one day I will track her down again in whatever body she inhabits, and she will die again and again if need be. But there is no need to think of such things now. I have you to thank for saving me, so let us return to the task of dealing with the Darkspawn, no?
I will always protect you, Morgan. And you'll think of a way to thank me. I'll always protect you, Morgan.
You should not be so... You have no idea what will happen in days to come to make such promises. Let us go. There is much to be done before... There is still much to be done.
Does that mean we'll see a Gray Warden appearance in Veilguard? Let's go. Yeah, pop your things. Okay, let's get this party started off right. Let's head to the Landsmeet. Let's go. What? It should be near the bridge. Yo, 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 it's the Gray Warden.
I'm surprised it has come to this. And Alistair, if you were even remotely worthy of being called Marik's son, you would already be in the Landsmeet, now wouldn't you? You have torn this nation apart to oppose my lord, and never once tried to understand why he is a hero to Ferelden. But do not think you will get past me to desecrate the Landsmeet itself. The nobles of Ferelden will confirm my lord as regent, and we can finally put this to rest once you are gone.
You really not see what Loghain has become?
Do you mean to talk me into betraying my lord? There are not such words in all language to make that happen, Warden. Now let us end this! To arms, men!
Only persuasion check in the game. That's crazy. And look how fast she is. I chunk her.
Now we get our hands dirty.
Yeah, my lord, I push back.
Must have to
Will you chunk me or will I chunk you before? Oh, goodness. Went down like a... First time, she wants pretty easy. Second time, though, these guards are kind of weak. Round 2 was in my favor. The Summer Sword thing. It's really good, actually. Someone during the final battle. Yo, yo, yo! It's the Gray Warden! Time to interrupt the Landsmeet!
My lords and ladies of the Landsmeet, Tyrn Loghain would have us give up our freedoms, our traditions, out of fear. He placed us on this path, yet we should place our destiny in his hands? Must we sacrifice everything good about our nation to save it?
A fine performance, Aemon. But no one here is taken in by it. You would attempt to put a puppet on the throne, and every soul here knows it. The better question is who will pull the strings.
Ah! Here we have the puppeteer. Tell us, Warden, how will the Orlesians take our nation from us? Will they deign to send their troops, or simply issue their commands through this would-be prince? Where is the famous steadfastness of the dwarves? How much did it cost the Empress to buy your loyalty?
The Blight is not the threat here. Not Orlais. The Blight is the threat here, not Orlais. Yeah, the Blight is not the threat here. It's alright, though. I'm not the one who betrayed Ferelden.
Some of us are curious, Loghain, about precisely what happened at Ostagar.
So, one of Kaelin's killers would dare speak of betrayal. You led our king to his death with your grandiose tales of griffins flying into battle.
You allowed Rendon Ho to impersonate and torture prisoners. And torture innocents.
The Warden speaks truly. My son was taken under cover of night. The things done to him, some of them are beyond any healer's skill.
Howe was responsible for himself. He will answer to the Maker for any wrongs committed in this life, as must we all. But you know that. You were the one who murdered him. Whatever Howe may have done, he should have been brought before the Seneschal. There is no justice in butchering a man in his home.
Look at all these things I could oh, look at all this blackmail I have against them. If you want justice that put Merrick's son on the throne, how can you think the Blight isn't a real threat to us? What do you know about justice? You left Kaelin to die. Is there justice in selling elves to Tevinter? That's a really good one. No. Why did you send a blood mage to poison Arl Howe? Why did you try to steal the stone from your own daughter? I like this one though. We're selling elves to Tevinter? That's fucked up, bro.
Selling elves? Explain this, Loghain.
This is war. Did you believe it would be like the old tales? Knights with pennants flying over battlefields where all outcomes are decided simply and with honor? War is cruel. Every soul who fought alongside Marek knows this. And in it, there are no such things as innocence, only the living and the dead, and the degrees of guilt both bear. Sacrifices were made. If they were too great, the Maker will judge me for it. But enough of this. I have a question for you, Warden. What have you done with my daughter?
We're discussing your crimes here. What have I done? I protected her from you.
You took my daughter, our queen, by force, killing her guards in the process. What arts have you employed to keep her? Does she even still live?
I believe I can speak for myself. Lords and ladies of Ferelden, hear me. My father is no longer the man you know. This man is not the hero of Riverdane. This man turned his troops aside and refused to protect your king as he fought bravely against the Darkspawn. This man seized Kaelin's throne before his body was cold and locked me away so I could not reveal his treachery. I would have already been killed, if not for this Gray Warden.
The Queen speaks the truth.
So, the Warden's influence has poisoned even your mind, Enora. I wanted to protect you from this.
My lords and ladies! Our land has been threatened before! It's been invaded and lost and won times beyond counting. We Fereldans have proven that we will never truly be conquered so long as we are united. We must not let ourselves be divided now. Stand with me, and we shall defeat even the Blight itself!
Southreach stands with the Grey Wardens.
Waking Sea stands with the Grey Warden.
Dragon's Peak supports the Warden!
Western Hills is with you, Loghain. Maker help us.
I stand by Loghain. We've no hope of victory otherwise.
I stand with the Warden. The Blight is coming. We need the Grey Wardens.
The Landsmeet is against you, Loghain. Step down gracefully. I knew the people of Ferelden would do the right thing. Step down gracefully.
Traitors! Which of you stood against the Orlesian Emperor when his troops flattened your fields and raped your wives? You fought with us once, Eamon. You cared about this land once. Before you got too old and fat and content to even see what you risk. None of you deserve a say in what happens here. None of you have spilled blood for this land the way I have. How dare you judge me?
Call off your men and we'll settle this honorably.
Then, let us end this. I suppose we both knew it would come to this.
A man is made by the quality of his enemies. Marek told me that once. I wonder if it's more a compliment to you or me.
Enough. Let the Landsmeet declare the terms of the duel.
It shall be fought according to tradition. A test of arms, in single combat until one party yields. And we, who are assembled, will abide by the outcome.
Will you face me yourself, or have you a champion?
I think Alistair wants to have this fight. Even though I want Alistair to avenge Duncan. He deserves it.
Then let us test the mettle of our would-be king. Prepare yourself.
All right, who ordered death?
Alright, who ordered death? Alright, who ordered death?
Very well.
I do not fear death!
Ha! You don't have any potions, Loghain. I fight you. I'm gonna push him.
Come get me if you dare!
I mind for that second one. But it definitely helped a lot. One nice block. If Cthulhu fought him, this is
very
well.
But the king was claiming room from the tyrant. I love the Star Wars music. We're so cool.
Very well.
This is so unfair. So unfair.
Oh my god.
Finish him, Alistair. You got this.
So, there is some of Marek in you after all. Good.
Forget Marek. This is for Duncan.
So it is decided. Alistair will take his father's throne.
Wait, what? No. When did this get decided? Nobody's decided that. Have they?
So much for our plan to rule together. If Alistair would rather not have the throne, I am more than willing to take it.
I hardly think you're the appropriate person to mediate this, Enora. Warden, will you help us?
Yes, I need to talk to Alistair first. Alistair, we agreed on this. You are going to be the head while she leads. Alistair.
Strange. I feel like I'm back at the Abbey, trying not to get chosen last for the sparring teams.
I want to talk to Nora as well. What do you think?
You're asking me? I guess you have to choose between Honora and me, right? Frankly, I think you should give her the throne. I've never wanted it. But it's up to you.
Do you think you're ready
Are
to be
there
king?
people who are ready for that sort of thing? But I guess if it comes down to it, I'll do my best. Oh, I think my stomach just twisted up in a knot or something.
I want to talk to Nora
Certainly.
as well. Are you prepared for this? Are you sure you would?
I have
This is what
never
you want?
had the smallest doubt.
Who do you think I should
Warden,
choose?
there's no doubt on this subject. Alistair would be a disastrous king. I can lead Ferelden. I have proven this.
Well, I'm ready to choose.
As the arbiter of this dispute, what is your decision? Who will lead Ferelden?
Exactly what I was about to say. Oh my, did we already agree to this? I shit you not, 30 minutes ago? Maybe an hour ago? I believe Honora planned to marry. You roll jointly?
Plans change. Nothing could convince me to marry my father's murderer.
Well then, very well. Alistair will take the throne.
This is where I wake up, usually. Or everyone points and laughs because I have no clothes on.
Honora, the Landsmeet has decided against you. You must now swear fealty to our king, and relinquish all claim to the throne for yourself and your heirs.
If you think I will swear that oath, Eamon, you know nothing of me.
You'll have to do something about her, Alistair.
What kind of something?
We cannot leave Ferelden in a state of civil war. We must have unity. If she will not swear fealty to you, Alistair, and renounce her claim to the throne, she is a threat to us all.
What do you want me to do exactly? Kill her? I can't do that. I guess... put her in the tower for now. Lock her up. Maybe we can find somewhere to send her. Later.
Thank you, Alistair. You show me mercy that I would not have shown you.
Very well, then. Guards, take her away. Your Highness, would you address the Landsmeet?
Oh, that would be me, right? I never knew him, but from all I've heard of my father, what defined him was his commitment to protecting this land.
Just tell him what to do.
Everyone, get ready to march! It's going to take all of Ferelden's strength to survive this blight. But we will face it, and we'll defeat it! We'd better get going. Ferelden is depending on us.
I agree.
You made me king. After all this is over with, they're actually going to put me on the throne. I'm going to be the king.
I thought you'd be speechless. Congratulations? Is this a thank you? I thought you'd be speechless.
Speechless? I'm furious. How could you do this to me? I've done nothing but regret my blood since the day I was born. I don't want this. I never wanted this. I hate the very idea of it. I thought we were friends. You knew how I felt about this, yet you went ahead and did it anyway. Why?
Would you prefer I give Honora the throne instead? Because I enjoy torturing you, that's why. That's what Morgan would say. Your country needs you, Alistair. Yeah, I want to say
yes, well, no. She would have executed me, so that would have been bad. I've just... never thought of myself as a leader. I'm going to make a terrible king, you have to know that. How can I make decisions that are going to affect the lives of everyone in the kingdom? I guess I don't really have a choice in this now, do I? I'll do my best, of course, and I expect that you'll be there to help me, right?
If you want me there, of course I will. I wouldn't have it any other way. If you want me there, of course I will.
Good. Then it's settled. Arleman has left for Redcliffe. He says the army has gathered there and is almost ready to march. As soon as we're ready, we should head to Redcliffe ourselves. The Blight awaits, right?
Not gonna lie. Ferelden might not like Alistair more, but else to talk to. Okay, let's head to camp.
Yes.
The guys. I'll let you romance.
What do you want?
Something bothering you, I can tell.
People talking when I'm trying to have a sodden quiet moment. That really twists my nut. Did you want to talk about something?
What
about? All right.
Nothing.
All right then.
What? We head out.
Your desire? So, full of questions, are you?
How do you become a shapeshifter?
I was not born such. 'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy kicking and screaming to our lair to be devoured. A most amusing legend.
Your mother has been doing this for a long time then.
Changing her form, certainly. Devouring lost children, I cannot say. She has not done it in my experience, though in truth my lifespan is but a fraction of her own. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know?
Can you change it to other human forms as well?
The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess.
Do you spend a lot of time as an animal?
There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But my life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary.
And what do other animals think of you when you're changed?
They do not shy away from me. To their senses, I believe I seem like any other of their species. As to what they think, I truly cannot say. Just as I am still human, no matter my form, they are still animals. Thus they cannot speak, even were I to ask.
I never heard of magic like that before.
No? 'Tis not unheard of in the remote corners of the world. There are traditions of magic outside of the circle of magi, despite what those mages would have you believe. Some of these traditions are old, indeed, passed down as carefully guarded lore from one generation to the next. The zealots of the chantry would uproot all such practitioners if they could. But as luck have it, some still exist. My mother is such a one.
By practitioners, you mean apostates, don't you?
Not all apostates use the forbidden blood arts. Maleficarum do, but to condemn all who do not fall under the circle's thrall for the sake of what might be is a dangerous path to walk. There are those who look on the word apostate as meaning freedom.
That's all I wanted to ask.
Indeed. Have you an opinion on my abilities, then? Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch?
Maybe tied to a flagpole and tickled. I think your abilities sound quite useful.
Oh, you're simply full of surprises, little man, aren't you? But enough of such talk. Let us proceed, lest the dust gather on us.
I know that look. You have something on your mind, don't you? Of course.
I've heard some rumors about Orlesian spies.
There are many rumors about spies, Orlesian or otherwise. What are you referring to exactly?
They say you will do almost anything to achieve your goals. Females want to use skills of seduction. Use skills of seduction.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. Honestly, yes. Why shouldn't I? Violence is not the only solution. People respond eagerly to others who they believe understand them. They seek approval, friendship, sometimes love. This can be exploited.
Good to know. And this is better than violence?
You don't think it is? I took what I wanted from them, leaving them none the wiser and unharmed. It is a game, one that can be won with little bloodshed if one plays well.
You manipulated people, tricked them. You thought it was a game?
Isn't it? Everyone can be seduced by the right woman. The trick is predicting who she is and becoming her. Master the game, and no one can resist you.
So how does this help us kill Darkspawn again? And would you say you've mastered the game?
If I might be so bold, yes. I was quite good at it. Sometimes, all I had to do was toss a glance and a smile. Men read promises into such things and will go to great lengths to see that promise fulfilled.
Maybe you could smile at the blade and tell it to go away.
I could... What? Oh, aren't you funny? I see your point. We will slay this darkspawn using conventional means, pointy sticks and all that. But come, it is getting late and there is much to be done.
Do you have any minstrel
I
tales?
know that look. You have something on your mind, don't you? Of course.
Do you have any tales to
Of
share?
course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Tell me about Darkspawn.
Chantry law says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinter Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin. And it is with the sin that they tainted the golden city, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
Any stories about Orlais?
Of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline, the Knight of Orlais.
That sounds
A
interesting.
long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield a sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot.
Continue,
Aveline's
please.
Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the grand tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered.
Did she win the tourney? Go on.
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to face with the knight Kaleva in the grand melee. Aveline had already bested him in the joust, and Kaleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
I was hoping for a happy ending.
The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
Do you know any Ferelden legends?
I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
Flemeth? Morgan's mother was called Flemeth.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth, the devourer of men? Flemeth, mother of witches? Flemeth, demon-touched, who dwells in the mists?
Flemeth, Morgan's mom. She looked like her average old woman. No, she wasn't average. They probably just had the same name. She didn't really introduce herself as such.
Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
Flemeth was once beautiful.
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari wilds with the Chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes. Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many chastened men, and with their help, begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Korcari wilds.
That's another story I wanted
Which
to hear.
one?
Do you know anything about the
I
Dalish?
have heard a little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium. The elves claimed the Dales in the south and settled there in the land of their own.
It didn't last.
The elves lived in the Dales for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The chantry says the elves struck first, but I do not know whether to believe it. The chantry declared a wholly exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked, and the elven state completely dissolved. Some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead became homeless wanderers. They were the elves of the Dales, the Dalish.
What do you know about Andraste?
Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved, and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker.
Let's just move on. Let's head to Redcliffe. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be the party to take on the Archdemon. Either Morgan or Liliana. Get to the map. Redcliffe. What's happened to Redcliffe?
It's you! The Gray Warden! Andraste's mercy that you got here when you did. I thought for sure these monsters were going to get me.
What happened to? What's happened? Where is everyone?
They all fled to the castle this morning, before the Darkspawn arrived. I thought I could make it to my home and back before they got here, but it took me too long to get down here. What a relief you arrived.
You should get to safety. Are there more Darkspawn at the castle?
By now, yes. They'd have reached the castle walls. I'm going to get out of here before any more of those things arrive. Thank you again.
Let's head to the castle.
Darkspawn, slay them all!
Dogs. I have to kill those guards. Oh. Wind! Look out behind you!
Right.
Good kill.
My lord, you're here. Thank goodness.
What's happened here? Did Darkspawn
Some
get
did,
into the
yes,
castle?
but we were able to close the gates and kill the ones in the courtyard. I was told to watch for your arrival, Warden. Your comrade Riordan arrived just ahead of the Darkspawn attack. He has urgent news for you.
Riordan,
I don't rightly know. Things happened so fast, I only know he was scouting in the south before he arrived.
Wait, I must prepare. Can you hold the Darkspawn
There
for
might
now?
be stragglers, but you seem to have taken care of most of them out here. That's rather remarkable, really. I was told to
Okay,
watch
take me
for
inside.
your arrival, Warden. Your comrade Riordan arrived just ahead of the Darkspawn attack. He has urgent news for you.
Take me inside. There must be no more
I should
delays.
take you to the hall right away, my lord. They'll be waiting for you there.
It's a relief to see you unharmed. And you as well, Alistair. Or should I say your majesty?
No, I wouldn't say that. Not yet, anyway.
The Darkspawn that attacked Threadcliff were relatively few in number, I'm afraid. It was assumed the Horde was marching in this direction, but that is not true.
Riordan tells us that the bulk of the Horde is in fact heading towards Denerim. They are perhaps 2 days away from the capital.
What? Are we sure about that? I mean, if that's true...
I ventured close enough to listen in, as it were. I am quite certain.
That we need to march at once. Has word been sent to
Word
Denerim?
has been sent, but they need more than warning. They need our armies.
There is, I'm afraid, one other piece of news that is of even greater concern. The Archdemon has shown itself. The dragon is at the head of the Horde.
Maker preserve us. But we can't reach Denerim within 2 days, can we? It's too far.
We must begin a forced march to the capital immediately with what we have. Denerim must be defended at all costs.
The Archdemon is what's important. Is it possible to reach the city in time?
Not. But what is important is that we know where the Archdemon will be. If we do not defeat the Archdemon, it will not matter if Denerim is saved or the Horde defeated. And only the Grey Wardens can defeat the Archdemon. That is why we must go.
Then we march, and hope the army we've collected here gives us the chance we need. Arl Eamon, how long before the army can set out?
By daybreak.
Then let's get them ready. I won't let all those people die without giving them a chance.
Then we're off to war. Let's do it. We can leave now without the army. Can we really stop the blight? Then we're off to war. Let's do
I will
it.
give the orders at once, and will notify you the moment we are ready to march.
That would be appreciated.
Then if you and Alistair could meet me before you retire, we have Gray Warden business to discuss.
I will have someone show you to your rooms. I suggest you all get some rest while you can. We will need it.
Oh boy. Last night we have together as a party.
I suppose it remains to be seen what sort of king Alistair will make. Personally, I think the lad will do far better than he believes. He is Merrick's son, whether he sees it or not. He has a good heart. I can think of no better qualification.
Shouldn't Alistair be staying here? Are there any other allies we can use?
He insists on going. How can I say no? I am uneasy with the danger he puts himself in by accompanying you. I ask myself if he does not conspire to leave the throne to Honora after all. But Alistair knows his duty. He will do what is best. Right now, he believes that is assisting you in contacting your allies.
Are there any other allies we can use?
We have sent messengers to Orlais. With any luck, the Empress will send us help within a week. I think it entirely possible, however, that she has written Ferelden off as a lost cause already, and will seek to defend her empire first. Perhaps the Grey Wardens of Orlais will be able to march and reach us in time. We should not rely on their arrival, even so.
I should get to my room. What about you, Tegan?
And now Denerim is under assault by the Darkspawn. The death toll will be staggering. I wish you luck, Grey Warden, for all our sakes.
Yes, sir. I will try my hardest.
And what word have we from Orzammar? Has House Claret sent their men, or haven't they?
They're stalling, which is as good as a no. House Claret's feud with House Fromald has flared up again since their son died in that Deep Roads business. So naturally, they're pleading the need for self-defense.
Fine time to start with that nonsense again. I've half a mind to... Evening to you, Grey Warden. I didn't realize you were still up and about.
Is there a problem with the Dwarven forces?
Nothing that can be dealt with now, I'm afraid. Just one of the houses being thicker than the stone that made them.
Once all of this blight business is done, there will be a reckoning in the Assembly. They're probably half hoping we'll all wind up dead. That way they'll have one of the strongest forces left in Orzammar. Enough to face the Darkspawn all on their own, I suppose? That's exactly the kind of half-arsed thinking that got us into the mess after Endrin passed. It was our good fortune that you decided to return home when you did, Grey Warden. For all that you needed our help, I expect we needed yours more.
Shouldn't you all be resting?
Resting? Who can rest after the march we had getting here? These humans have it easy with their long legs.
That and we're kept up thinking about the coming battle.
Are things truly that desperate? Do we stand a chance of losing?
We will find a way to win. We must.
Hope you're right. Under the open sky is a terrible place to consider dying, that's for sure.
Right. Off to camp with both of you, and keep the drunkenness to a minimum. We have a long way to go yet. Pleasant evening to you, Grey Warden, and good fortune on the field of battle.
You too, Dwarf Commander. You too. Steve! I can hear you through the freaking walls! Camp.
I know that look. You have something on your mind, don't you?
What do you know of this place?
Redcliffe? I know little of it except that it is the domain of the Earl of Redcliffe. Redcliffe. I wonder how the name came to be. Is the clay here red? There are places in this world where the clay is a bright, strange red, and often, in the legends of such places, it is the red of blood. The blood of 1,000 men slaughtered in battle, or that of an innocent, unjustly slain. It stains the land that it may never be forgotten. Perhaps Redcliffe has one such tale. But I do not know it.
Let's just move on. I want Kira either.
What say you?
Could you answer
By all
some
means.
questions? So tell me about your adventures.
I'm hardly an old man just returned from across the ocean, am I?
Should I shake my fist at nearby children while I talk about the good old days?
One can never tell with you elves.
Oh, well, if a racist crack like that doesn't cajole me into telling a tale, then nothing will. Let's see, my second mission ever for the Crows was a bit intriguing. I was sent to kill a mage who had been meddling in politics.
The Crows were willing to anger the Circle of Magi?
In Antiva, nobody is too important to escape the reach of the Crows. They've killed kings and queens. That is simply how it is. As it turned out, the mage in question was quite a delightful young woman. Long, divine legs, as I recall. I caught her in a carriage on her way to escape to the provinces. After I killed her guard, she got down on her hands and knees and begged for her life. Rather aptly, I might add. So I joined her in the carriage for the night and left the next morning.
After killing her anyhow. You used her? That's horrible. And she didn't try to kill you?
Yes, twice, actually. Then she decided to try and use me instead. The woman had actually convinced me to speak to the Crows on her behalf. What can I say? I was young and foolish at the time. Then, as I was kissing her goodbye to return to Antiva City, she slipped on the threshold and fell backwards out of the carriage. Broke her neck. Shame, really, but at least it happened quickly.
Were you upset? So you didn't actually kill her? Were you upset?
At first, yes. Well, not upset. Surprised is really a better word. Then I found out that she had told the driver to take her to Denerim instead. She had planned to lose me in the provinces. I would have looked very foolish to the Crows. As it was, my master was very impressed that I had done such a fine job of making it look like an accident. The Circle of Magi was unaware of foul play, and everyone was happier all around.
Except for the mage. These sorts of things happen to you often?
Like being spared by a benevolent mark who then helps me escape from the Crows? Yes, it does seem to happen now and again, doesn't it? It was after that when I learned that one needn't let a pretty face go to your head. Professionalism was key. That's my moral of the day, you see.
A wise lesson to learn.
And one that not everyone learns, I'm sad to say. But that's enough tale spinning from me for the moment. Talking about the mage has made me a bit nostalgic, I'm afraid. Ah, the good old days. What say you?
Got any more tales?
By all means. Again, well now, what might interest you, I wonder? Shall I describe the stages involved with Lanthrax poisoning? I watched a man go through all 7 once.
That sounds like fun. If you like,
no, I'll not inflict that upon you just yet. Let's see, how about the largest battle I ever took part in? That would have been the slaughter of Prince Osrin. Did you hear of that down in these parts?
You killed the prince?
Not personally, but I did take part in the attack. Prince Osrin was 4th in line to the throne, you see. He started off as 11th, but worked his way up the old-fashioned method by inheriting control of an entire crow cell from his grandfather. After assassinating his way through the royal family, the king hired 3 other cells to take down Prince Osrin once and for all. I was in one of those cells.
Is this sort of thing common in Antiva?
Antivan royalty is very much bound up in the crows. You wouldn't want it run by a bunch of commoners, after all, would you? And this means they get involved in politics quite often. This particular fight nearly bankrupted the nation, I understand. It almost ended up putting a crow on the throne, a commoner. But that's a whole different story. I played a very small part.
Seems like an odd way to run the country. What did you do?
My part in the entire battle was taken up trying to reach Princess Verina, who had thrown in with her brother. I killed about 11 of her guards personally before I got knocked out of a window. I landed in the river and nearly drowned. I was fished out by some urchins who robbed me blind. Made off with my boots, too. At least they didn't cut my throat. And that was my part in history.
You got robbed by urchins. You're very lucky indeed.
It's true. I live a charmed life. One of the prostitutes that raised me was a fortune teller. Said I wouldn't die young. She was rather startled by that. But there you go. Tale told. Let's be off before I tell more embarrassing stories, huh?
I want to hear one more embarrassing story, Severin. You have some good ones. You and Liliana, you rogues have some good stories.
What say you? Again? I'm game.
Oh, wait.
What say
not
you?
That one.
By all means. Well, the only one that's really worth telling is the story of the mission right before I came to Ferelden. But no, I would rather not. I shouldn't have said anything.
Why not? What's the problem?
Nothing that I would prefer to speak of. Perhaps another day. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, in that case, let's just continue. Let's head to, let's see what the Gray Warden had to tell me. And Alistair. What's this thing about the Archdemon?
There you are. Let's go see what Riordan has to say.
Riordan.
You're both here. Good. You're new to the Grey Wardens, and you may not have been told how an Archdemon is slain. I need to know if that is so.
You mean there's more to it than just, say, chopping off its head?
So it is true. Duncan had not yet told you. I had simply assumed. Tell me, have you ever wondered why the Grey Wardens are needed to defeat the Darkspawn?
I have wondered that, yes. I assume it has something to do with the taint.
That is exactly what it involves. The Archdemon may be slain, as any other Darkspawn, but should any other than a Grey Warden do the slaying, it will not be enough. The essence of the beast will pass through the taint to the nearest Darkspawn and will be reborn anew in that body. The dragon is thus all but immortal. But if the Archdemon is slain by a Grey Warden, its essence travels into the Grey Warden instead.
And what happens to the Grey Warden? That doesn't sound very healthy.
The Darkspawn is an empty, soulless vessel, but a Grey Warden is not. The essence of the Archdemon is destroyed, and so is the Grey Warden.
Meaning the Grey Warden who kills the Archdemon dies?
Yes. Without the Archdemon, the blight ends. It is the only way.
So it's up to the three of us to kill this thing. That's cool. I have no intentions of sacrificing myself for this. Why is this such a... why wouldn't it be a secret? Do you want everyone to know this? I don't. Is there no other way? Must a Grey Warden die?
As far as we know, the transfer of the Archdemon's essence is automatic. If one of us is not present when the killing blow is made, it is all for nothing. There is no other way. For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
So it's up to the three of us to kill this thing.
In Blight's past, when the time came, the eldest of the Grey Wardens would decide which amongst them would take that final blow. If possible, the final blow should be mine to make. I am the eldest, and the taint will not spare me much longer. But if I fail, the deed falls on you. The Blight must be stopped now, or it will destroy all of Ferelden before the rest of the Grey Wardens can assemble. Remember that. But enough. There will be much to do tomorrow, and little enough time to rest before it. I will let you return to your rooms.
I will see you once the army is ready to march, then. I guess this ends soon. One way or another.
That it does, my friend. That it does.
Dang.
You should get some sleep before morning. There will be much to do when the army marches.
Dang.
Do not be alarmed. It is only I.
Morgan, is everything alright?
I am well. 'Tis you who are in danger. I have a plan, you see. A way out. The loop in your hole. I know what happens when the Archdemon dies. I know a Grey Warden must be sacrificed, and that sacrifice could be you. I have come to tell you that this does not need to be.
Does not need to be. What do you mean?
I offer a way out. A way out for all the Grey Wardens, that there need be no sacrifice. A ritual, performed on the eve of battle, in the dark of night.
Just what sort of ritual is this?
It is old magic, from a time before the Circle of Magi was created. Some might call it blood magic, but that is but a name. There is far more to fear in this world than names.
Then... And from where did you get this ritual, Morgan?
From Flemeth, of course. I have known about it for some time.
So you knew about the sacrifice before Redorn told me?
I did. Would you have believed me if I had been the one to tell you? I have my doubts.
Then tell me more.
What I propose is this. Lay with me, here tonight, and from our joining, a child will be conceived. The child will bear the taint, and when the Archdemon is slain, its essence will seek the child like a beacon. At this early stage, the child can absorb that essence and not perish. The Archdemon is still destroyed, with no Grey Warden dying in the process.
So the child becomes a darkspawn?
Not at all. It will become something different. A child born with the soul of an old god. After this is done, you allow me to walk away, and you do not follow. Ever. The child will be mine to raise as I wish.
I don't even know this will work.
This is what my mother intended when she sent me with you. She was the one who first gave me this ritual and told me of what I was meant to do. This does not surprise you, does it? Did you not wonder why Flemeth saved your life? Why she aided you? This is why. What is important is that I am offering this to you now. It will work, and it will save your life.
Is this why you've been so friendly with me? Is this the reason?
Caring for you, as I've come to? That was not part of the plan. But I cannot let what I feel interfere with what I must do. This is important to me. The fact that it may save your life makes me all the more determined to see it done. Please, do not cloud the issue. If you feel anything for me, then accept that it will make what we must do that much easier.
But will I ever see you again?
After the Archdemon has been slain? No. No, you will never see me again. Refuse my offer, however, and I leave now. This is simply how it must be.
Wait, I want to know more about this child.
As you wish.
The child won't be hurt, will it?
Ignoring that after but one night it could barely be called a child, no, it will not be hurt. It will be changed.
Will the child be evil? What will it become?
Allow me to say that what I seek is the essence of the old god that once was, and not the dark forces that corrupted it. Some things are worth preserving in this world. Make of that what you will.
What do you intend to do with this child?
I do not wish to tell you.
I insist, I need to know
The child will represent freedom. For an ancient power, a chance to be reborn apart from the taint. Is that not reason enough to do it? I will raise the child apart from the rest of society and teach it to respect that from which it came. Beyond that, you need know nothing else.
Freedom. The child will be freedom. From what? It's gonna be my child. Will I ever see it?
No, you never will. This is all I ask in return for freeing you from the burden the Grey Wardens have placed upon you.
I see. Enough about the child.
Then you have decided?
Alright, I agree. I'll do it.
A wise decision. Come, my love. Put the thoughts of the ritual aside and let us make this last night together one to remember.
We have gathered all the forces we can. The Darkspawn Horde is sure to reach the capital before us. And so we must race to Denerim as quickly as we can. The lives of many thousands hang in the balance. We must not forsake them. You have gathered an army to replace the one lost at Ostagar, Gray Warden. Let us pray that it will be enough.
Before us stands the might of the Darkspawn Horde. Gaze upon them now, but fear them not. The man you see beside me is a dwarf. Raised to the ranks of the Grey Wardens, this is not his home. And yet still he fights with honor and passion. He has survived despite the odds. And without him, none of us would be here. Today, we save Denerim. Today, we avenge the death of my brother, King Kaelan. But most of all, today, we show the Grey Wardens that we remember and honor their sacrifice. For Ferelden, for the Grey Wardens!
We're on the front lines now. For the Gray Warden!
Time for more darkspawn, I see. Alright.
All my companions are fighting together at the same time. Good job, Steve! Everyone was so spread out.
You've managed to fight your way to the gates. We're doing better than I hoped.
That will change quickly.
Bloody nug runners are outnumbered 3-1.
What are we to do now, Riordan? You have a plan, I assume?
The army will not last long, so we need to move quickly to reach the Archdemon. I suggest taking Alistair and no more than 2 others with you into the city. Anyone you don't bring with you can remain here to prevent more Darkspawn from entering Denerim on our tails.
Are we gonna fight a flying dragon? Why so small a group?
A large group is only going to draw attention, and I think I know what we need to do. We're going to need to reach a high point in the city. I'm thinking the top of Fort Draken might work.
The top of... You want to draw the dragon's attention?
We have little choice, though I warn you that as soon as we engage the beast, it will call all its generals to help it. I can sense 2 generals in Denerim. You may wish to seek them out before going to Fort Draken.
I am sure that if we did slay those generals, it would stop the Darkspawn in the city from doing a lot of harm.
It may also waste resources trying to find them. The decision is up to you.
Do you know where these generals are?
Neither of them are near Fort Draken currently, but there are too many Darkspawn here to tell you more. There are already several units of our allies within the city by now. They may be able to come to your assistance if you call them, but their strength will be limited. Now, who do you wish to take with you into the city?
The king needs to stay back.
Fair enough. Anyone else will need to remain here and assist in keeping more Darkspawn from coming in the gates behind us. Who will lead them?
Alistair can
I'd rather be going after the Archdemon. All right.
Good. That should be sufficient. Nothing you have done has prepared you for what you face now. May the Maker watch over you.
Well, this is it, Warden. When from the blood of battle the stone is fed, let the heroes prevail and the blighters lie dead. As one of the blighters, I sodding salute you. Let's show them our hearts, and then show them theirs.
So the Archdemon is next, is it? Part of me is glad that it has decided to leave me here at the gate, but the other part is apprehensive. I would almost say that I feel concern for something other than myself, even maybe for a soft, squishy companion. But that would be silly, wouldn't it?
Don't worry about you too, Shale. Thank you, Shale. I appreciate your thought.
And, do try not to get swallowed whole. If the beast were to fly about afterwards and poop it out, irony would dictate that it would land on me. I couldn't take it. Well then, I suppose this is it. Have fun storming the castle.
Don't worry, boy. I'll be back.
Are you ready? The enemy waits. Shall we grant him the death he asks of us?
You sound confident. I'm ready. Are you?
This is my place. Whatever happens, I will not falter. We will take the field and stand together to see our enemy fall.
So this is it? This is the end? We've come so far. It's strange knowing that all our fates will be decided in a matter of hours. I wish I could go with you.
It is less dangerous here.
I respect your decision to keep me here, even though I would have gladly stood by your side even to the death. You have been a true friend, and I I will be extremely cross with you if you don't return. Be careful out there. I will see you soon.
Heading off to slay dragons without me, Fine, fine. Say hello to the Archdemon for me. He never writes anymore. It's rather distressing. And do watch your back. No getting eaten, unless you think it's really important, of course.
So I'm not going with you, I see. Any particular reason?
You're going to be king. You belong out here with your men.
I'm a Gray Warden. My place is facing that Archdemon at your side, as your comrade. Even so, I won't argue with you about it. I'll do my best out here. Be careful in there, will you? You said you'd help me be king, and I'm not letting you off if you go dying or something.
The Archdemon doesn't stand a chance.
Just remember, that ritual isn't going to help if you get your head squashed first. Go kick its ass.
So we head into the city together. As it should be. Once this is done, no matter how it turns out, I will be gone. You are aware of this, yes?
We'll see. I will find you, Morgan. I swear it. But let me thank you now for what you have done. Somebody was saved for celebrations.
I do not think that would be wise. Allow me to say only one thing before we go. I was foolish. This could have been so much easier, yet I cannot regret what was between us. I will always remember you, my love. Now, let us see this finally done. The Archdemon awaits.
Let's get this done. Okay, let's head to the market district. Who should we call on first? Let's call on Soldiers. Don't you? Throwing me down to the right. No. No. Alright. There's the general. Let's kill him. Ogres. Let us head back on now.
As you like.
Nope, not that one. Let's head to the Alienage.
You! It's you! The Maker sure gave you the gift of good timing, didn't he? There's a large group of Darkspawn approaching and the gates won't hold. We need your help.
I'll handle this. Get yourselves to safety.
All right. I only hope there is time to...
They're breaking through!
Run! All of you! Run for your lives!
dwarves! Stand with me! Here I come. I hear my dwarves. Attack! I'm so mad.
You saved many lives here today. Thank you. Please, take this. I pray it helps you in your coming battles. We have to go. May the Maker watch over you.
Onward. Oh, well, we can't go back. Guess we just gotta go forward. To the Palace District. Okay, Alistair. You gotta order these officers.
Beware! A large group of Darkspawn have broken away from the battle. They're charging this way! They'll be here any minute!
That's why I have Alistair here for.
More Darkspawn!
And Ogre. And Liliana.
Very well.
Go back to shit. There's more than 3. And a bear. Hey,
Shall
messenger?
I send word that the gates are secured?
Yes, send word we have. For the moment,
Right away.
Yes. Pretty big fall. Let's get this party started. Again. You know what? Those dwarves didn't do much. They're coming back out. I wish I could heal off kills.
ask another.
Okay. Let's head to Fort Draken. Move the front line!
It appears we need to fight the blight.
The emissary got his head decapitated. Fort Draken. Den, remember this place? I remember so much dead darkspawn. Demons. Too much dead. What's been here? You always go, Stan, you always go! Let's go! Onward to the roof. It's a lot of dead darkspawn, Sandal.
Enchantment?
Sandal? You're surrounded by darkspawn corpses. What's happened here?
Enchantment!
Time for more darkspawn.
Through the metal door. Inside. I'm going to kill you before you kill me. It's time. For the rooftop fight. Just thinking about thumbnail. One moment. Just thinking. Yeah, it was all mages first.
then it was over. With the Archdemon dead, the Darkspawn horde quickly crumbled. Most fled back into the deep roads. They would remain a threat in the years to come, but the blight had been ended before it had truly begun. Ferelden had been saved, and the entire kingdom rose up to joyously greet its new king. Gray Warden stood redeemed, and a new age had begun. But at what cost?
A new age.
My friends, we are gathered to celebrate those responsible for our victory. Of those who stood against the Darkspawn siege of Denerim, there is one in particular who deserves commendation. The one who led the final charge against the Archdemon remains with us still, an inspiration to all he saved that day. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the hero of Ferelden, the first Gray Warden to defeat the Blight since Garahel 4 centuries ago. My friend, it is hard to imagine how you could have aided Ferelden more. I think it only appropriate that I return the favor. Is there any boon that you might request of Ferelden's king? If it is within my power, I will grant it.
I only wish to continue to serve the crown, your majesty. Title and riches to go with, I think. I ask that my people will be aided against the Darkspawn. The sacrifices of the word should not be forgotten again. The sacrifice of the word should not be forgotten again.
Now that's a very good point. I think we can begin with a monument here in Denerim, dedicated to the Grey Wardens who have fallen. Duncan, Riordan, all of them. And it is high time some scholars were collected to learn more about the Darkspawn. We'll face them again, with the dwarves as well as here. Let it also be known that the Arling of Amaranthine, once the land of Arl Howe, is now granted to the Grey Wardens. There they can rebuild, following the example of those who went before them. What are your plans? Will you remain with the Grey Wardens?
I think you'll need my help. The Darkspawn still spread. The Grey Wardens need me. I think I will travel, at least for time. I think I'll return to Orzammar. I intend to find Morgan. I think you'll need my help first.
Well, I didn't want to come right out and say it, but I'm relieved you'll be nearby. There's a group of Ferelden citizens waiting outside to get a look at their hero. I suggest you make at least a brief appearance before they storm the gate. Just tell the guard at the door when you're ready.
Man, it feels like I'm king. I still have that rock cell. That's why I'm moving so slow. Rika! What are you doing here?
A Grey Warden, and now a hero too? A bit different from the slums, huh?
Good to see you too, Rika. Sorry I got your husband killed. Good to see you too, Rika.
Mother swore off drinking when she heard about what you did. She's been sober ever since, and as ill as a fell cat in water. I should tell you, the Assembly actually sent me here. Officially, I'm an ambassador. Can you imagine? Me. Apparently miracles abound these days. They want me to tell you that you're free to return to Orzammar. They've made you a full citizen. Technically, you're warrior caste.
I'm not even a paragon. I'm not a paragon. Can they do that?
I don't know, but they did. Of course, that means Mother has risen up too. She's been lording it over all her friends, calling them lowly peasants. I hear they're considering making you a paragon, statue and everything. Not bad, brother. Not bad at all. Anyhow, I intend to get back to sampling this human wine. I'd like to forget that there's a giant sky up there. How they live up here, I'll never know.
Okay, no, I am going to be a paragon. I was about to say, that's a little evil. Hey, Arl,
It is over. I can barely believe it. You stopped the civil war and then defeated the Blight. On behalf of Ferelden, allow me to say thank you. It truly cannot be said enough.
I'm a Gray Warden. That's what we do.
So I'm learning. It's good that you're staying here in the capital. The hero of Ferelden will have influence, and there is much to be done. Myself, I will be remaining here to help Alistair. Tegan will take over the rule of Redcliffe, at least for the time being. Connor seems well enough, and Isolde refuses to speak of what happened. She says she never wants to go back. I cannot thank you enough for saving them. They are the joy of my existence. Tell me, have you noticed anything strange about the lad? He seems quiet.
Connor? Consider what he's been through.
You are no doubt correct. It is my imagination, I am sure. But here I am rambling on. I shall let you get back to your celebration, Warden. Enjoy it while you can.
Lily, I don't know, you look different.
So here we are. The conquering hero has won the day, and now he takes his bow and exits the stage. A fine ending.
But this isn't a play. Should be taking a bow
And
with
my
me.
part was small. I'm happy to watch you receive the accolades. It's quite fun. You know, I can't help now but think of my vision. The Maker sent me to help you, and look what you did. It's a miracle. It truly is. You should know. I'm thinking of going back to Orlais for a while, to find Marjolaine. I don't know how long I'll be gone.
Do you need help?
No. This is something I need to do on my own. Perhaps we will see each other when I return. I look forward to it. Until then, be well. May the Maker watch over you.
Something tells me she's gonna be looking a lot different in the coming years. Just say it. She's gonna be looking quite different. Severin?
I will be relieved when all this pomp and ceremony is done. Such events are perfect opportunities for assassins, after all. I can't help but expect the crows to appear at any moment, which would be a welcome break, mind you.
You think the crows will still come after you?
Eventually. With Taliesin dead, it may take them time to figure out what has happened, but they are like the tides, predictable. You know, it does occur to me that staying in one place is only going to invite the crows to find me that much quicker. While fun, that might eventually get complicated. You said earlier that you are planning on remaining here. Is that true?
You weren't thinking of leaving, are you?
That was the idea. See the world, meet some people, rob a few of them blind. Do you have something different in mind?
You're welcome to stay.
Then let the crows bring it on. I can mock them while you crush their skulls. Well then, since I am sticking around, I suppose we'll have plenty of time to speak later, yes? So go on and get paraded about. It's fun to watch. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on you and make sure no one gets a clear shot. Not without paying me a great deal of coin, anyhow.
Thanks, Severin. Win?
The hero of Ferelden. My. How does it feel?
I could have thought up a better name. Well deserved.
I suppose it is at that. A blight defeated with the other nations barely becoming aware. Who could ask for better?
I didn't do it on my own.
I don't think many heroes ever do. I'm glad not to be on the receiving end of all this attention myself. I say, let the young have their fame. Not that I've gone without notice. Irving asked me to take over as first enchanter, but I don't wish to go back. Not after all this. Instead, I've decided to travel. Shale has expressed a desire to go to Tevinter to look into a way to regain her mortality. And I will join her.
But what about your problem? She wants to regain her mortality? She wants to regain her mortality?
It seems that a creature of flesh impressed her enough that she is willing to discard her notions about them being frail and disgusting. I wonder who. At any rate, I offered to bring her before the Tevinter mages. Their lore is considerable, and I've always wanted to travel to Minrath Ruse. I doubt we will meet again, young man. If not, please accept my best wishes.
Wait, so Wynn and Shale are going to Minrathis to cure Shale for Gollum condition? Search for the other ones.
So, we made it. I'm impressed, aren't you? The odds were completely against one of us actually getting to the Archdemon. But of course you would make it. I knew you would. I just don't understand how you're still alive. I guess Riordan was wrong?
Morgan saved me.
I had no idea. I suppose that makes sense. Speaking of Morrigan, do you know where she went? I'm told she vanished right after the battle. No goodbyes or anything.
I don't know where she went, but I'll find her.
Thought you were sticking around. Well, it's up to you, I suppose. I don't imagine she'll be easy to find if she doesn't want to be. At any rate, I can see Arl Howe giving me that look. More king stuff, I suppose. I can never wait. And if I don't get the chance some other time, thanks. For everything.
Well, these are necessary. This is hardly goodbye.
I know, but I'm king now. And that means things will change. I guess we'll see. I'll let you get to your adoring public. They want to see the hero of Ferelden, and who am I to keep them waiting?
Alistair, you are the best. That's some cool armor you got too. Yeah, Ogren, hang out with dwarves.
Humans have a better taste for spirits than I thought. The ale up here is actually good. Orzammar ale tastes like dirt in comparison. Probably because they put dirt in it. Go figure.
Is that all you can do? Drink? Think you might go back to Orzammar? Does that mean you're staying here?
For now. They may have already branded me a surfacer back home anyhow. I got offered a spot in the human army. And not as a mascot either. You know, these humans aren't bad for all their long legs.
You're done adventuring? General Ogren? Not bad.
Makes me wish Bronca was still around so she could see what she's missing. Stupid girl. Ah, well, enough babbling. That pot-bellied son of a whore Tegan said I'd pass out before drinking an entire barrel of pickle juice. I aim to prove him wrong.
That's a little gross. Take care of yourself.
Been good traveling with you, Warden. Don't get lost in the shuffle now.
General Ogren. He's so wasted, but also professional. And then my two side favorite. Sen, do you have a dog?
It is good to see you again, Kadan. These people, they call you hero. It is a strange word, but I think I understand its meaning. The Arishok on occasion has declared a Kunari to be Kunoran Vel, one who serves as an example to others. Such examples are always made after their death, however, a death in service to the Kyun. A living Kunoran Vel would be too proud.
Nothing wrong with a little pride. Did the Kunari celebrate and put on a parade?
When a Kunoran Vel is declared, certainly. It is one of few occasions when the Kunari are permitted to engage in revelry. There is imbibing of spirits, public chanting, meditations abandoned. It is madness.
This isn't madness. Everyone is just relieved. I don't think the Canary could enjoy themselves. That would be quite the sight.
It is interesting. It can take days for the Ben Hasrath to restore order. There may even be executions. I suppose I should tell you. I have decided to return to my people. Your quest is done, and thus so is my reason for accompanying you.
I was just starting to get used to you. That'll be a long trip home. I could go with you if you like.
Is that truly what you want? There is much to hold you here, and it is a long journey.
True. Will I see you again?
Anything is possible. I will return if I can. It must be said. You found my sword and gave me a chance to restore my honor. I owe you a great debt.
You helped me as well. It's been good.
It has. That one of the Baz, a foreigner, would become known as Kadan to me. Unthinkable. Yet here it is. Perhaps I shall see you again one day. Until then, may you always find the path you seek. Farewell, Kadan.
Farewell, Sten.
Where is the cake? I was told there would be cake. The cake is a lie.
Portable Easter egg.
Are you ready, my lord? The crowds outside are getting restless.
Restless? What am I supposed to do? Yes, I'm ready. Yeah,
Just
what am I
put in
supposed
an
to do?
appearance, so I understand it. The people just want to see their hero in person. I'm supposed to take you to your escort, full brigade, their armor all shined up and everything. They're really honored to be guarding you, let me tell you. Right.
Let's go then.
I'll take you there now. Follow me.
In the months that followed his courage, Alistair proved to be a popular king, largely unwilling to involve himself in matters of governing, traveled often, making appearances in towns throughout Ferelden, to the great delight of the commoners. They referred to him as the king with a common touch, even if a few of it was a simple aversion to live at court. Even a few, it was a simple aversion to life at court. Okay. I don't want to press A. Okay, I do press A. News that the Urn of Sacred Ashes have been found in Ferelden did not spread outside the Chantry until Brother Genetivi made an announcement several months after the defeat of the Darkspawn. The manuscript detailing his research and his experience with Andraste's cult drew a huge interest among scholars throughout Thedas. Some years later, the Chantry announced that the resting place of Andraste's ashes has indeed been found. A ripple of excitement spread amongst the pious people of Thedas, with many undertaking pilgrimage to the ashes or partake of their healing powers. Following months of effort, the Tower of the Circle of Magi was finally cleansed of the last spirits to slip through the veil. No further abominations were created, and the first enchanter was pleased to declare the circle safe. All that could be saved had been. With the slavers shut down in the alienage, the lot of the save-born elves improved for a time. The new king even named the local elder to his personal court, a scandal amongst the humans, but a sign of new hope to the elves. Shiani continued to be an outspoken member of the alienage community, and in time became the new elder. That outspokenness earned her frequent trouble, but served her people well. Arl Howe remained in Denerim for some time, acting as the chancellor and chief advisor to King Alistair. Tegan ruled over Redcliffe in his stead, and was surprised to find himself well loved by the villagers, who were still grateful for the nights he spent defending their lives. In time, Eamon abdicated in favor of his brother, an event that locals greeted with approval and enthusiasm. The Dalish elves prospered out of the siege of Denerim, having earned much respect for their part in the battle. For once, human lands welcomed the wandering folk. For once, human lands welcomed the wandering folk. The new leader, Lena, was respected both amongst the Dalish as well as the Ferelden court. She was a voice of reason, and other Dalish clans would turn to her to help resolve disputes with human folk. In time, many of the Dalish clans moved to the new land, provided for them the south near Asgard. Wary of their human neighbors, however, tensions soon rose again, and only Keeper Lena's leadership kept peace alive. In Ozamar, King Haramount found himself in a protected battle against Balin's rebellion that left him unable to gain the stability he needed. The clan lords objected to many of his measures to the assembly, and only his efforts to increase the dwarves' isolation was met with any success. Ooh, that does sound good. In time, Haramount's health began to fail. Some claimed it was poison, while others said it was plaguing spirit. Either way, after a prolonged illness, the king finally passed away. The wrangling and the assembly for a successor began almost immediately. The assembly unanimously declared Cthulhu a living paragon. Following months of deliberation, a new statue was erected in the commons and a new house found in the paragon's name, quickly drawing a great number of followers from every caste. Wow! Paragon Cthulhu and Cthulhu House. Dang. Sucks about Haramount, but props to Cthulhu Paragon Cthulhu. Yeah. Brother Burkle's Chantry and Osmar drew a surprising number of converts among the dwarves. They quickly attracted a great deal of anger from more conservative quarters, and before long the assembly severely restricted the atrocity in its rights. Brother Burkle resisted and was slain while being arrested during a peaceful demonstration in the Commons. The assembly claimed that this was an accident, but news of the resulting riots reached the Chantry on the surface, where the Divine even contemplated a new exalted march. Let me read that again. The Divine contemplated a new exalted march against dwarves. The last exalted march was against the Dalish and almost wiped out most of the Dalish. So hearing that, it's kind of crazy. Anyways, the dwarven mage Dagna ultimately completed her studies at the rebuilt Circle Tower. Eventually, she published a comprehensive theory of how lyrium vapors relate to the supply of magic. It gained a great deal of attention. Although the Anvil of the Void was destroyed, rumors about its location crept into Ozamar. Years later, thanks to the defeat of the Darkspawn on the surface, a few determined smiths managed to locate the Anvil's remains. They examined the ruins of the Anvil, and upon returning to Ozamar with their findings, convinced the Shaper to attempt to recreate Caridin's research. A new golem was created, bound with a spirit taken from the Fade. The golem immediately went insane, killing several Shapers before it was destroyed. The research was branded excessively dangerous, and sealed away. Whispers of its existence circulated throughout Ozamar. However, and demand among the Sith caste to reopen Caridin's research refused to abdicate. The golem immediately went insane. Wow, it's not like we saw that would come and happen if we left that working. Dwarves. As good as her word, Morgan disappeared once the Archdemon was slain. Someone of Morgan's description was traveling alone months later, heading west through the Frostback Mountains, and she may even have been with child. There was no word of her after that. With Flemeth dead, or at least gone, the chances of tracking her down were slim indeed. One cannot help but wonder, however, what became of the child? What were Morgan's plans? These questions must remain a mystery. For now. What were Morgan's plans? These questions must remain a mystery. For now. Until Veilguard. The The companions who have traveled with Cthulhu eventually scattered to the four winds, drawn either by personal duty or by the call to further adventure. The hero remained in Denerim and celebrated amongst the commoners and a fixture at court, at least for a time. As the blighted lands began to heal and the Gray Warden slowly rebuilt the Order in Amaranthine, they discovered that the fight against the Darkspawn was not yet complete. Although the Horde was rooted and had dissolved upon the Archdemon's defeat, many of the more powerful Darkspawn survived and organized a revolting war bands that preyed upon the land and upon each other. These warbands spread havoc, and some even journeyed west into Orlais or crossed the shining sea by the deep roads. They proved incredibly difficult to wipe out. But these are the tales yet to be told. This tale ended when Cthulhu sank his blade into the Archdemon's head and destroyed it forever. It was not the last Ferelden would hear of him, however.